Hey, what's going on, y'all, man? Back to another episode of First and Foremost Podcast, man. I am one of three co-hosts here with our Bacon of Bacon Network, and here with Jerome of Inside the Hashes, man. Y'all ready? Today, we got our top 26 coming out for the 2026 class. Man, y'all been flooding the DMs, man. Y'all been commenting, and we got special guests. National host On3, one of the best out in the game right now, Duke the Scoop. Hey, man, he gonna react to the list, man. But how y'all fellas feeling tonight, man?
Suavemente, brother. You can hear it in the tone of voice.
Estás usando su español.
Muy poquito en español, señor. Hey, good little dialogue. Muy.
I love it. What's up? How you feeling though, Jerome?
Great, man. Had a little chaotic morning. Had to get the car and treatment with the car, but I'm here. I'm glad to be here. Got everything done on time, so let's get it. I'm excited. Let's do it.
All right, man. Let's roll. We ain't gonna waste nobody else's time. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow us on the socials. Let's go get into the first and foremost. Bacon, I'm throwing it to you, man. What's your first and foremost on this Tuesday night?
Man, where do I start, man? First and foremost has to be the sensational performance by Caitlin Clark last night. I was talking to my coworker, man. I was like, man, she go for 40. She probably gonna beat you. She probably gonna beat LSU, man. She went for 41, 12 assists. I'm saying we're gonna break the game down a little later. What I feel like Ken Walker should have done in the crunch time, but first and foremost has to be Miss Clark for her sensational performance.
Go ahead, Jerome.
Yeah, first and foremost, although my Tar Heels lost, they lost, but Duke's out, so I'm happy. That's my first and foremost. That's all I got. That's it.
Man, I'm gonna go, man. I don't know if y'all know it relates to what Bacon said. The highest watch, most streamed, 12.8 million views, man. The Iowa versus
first and foremost. Oh, okay. My bad.
Good, bro. But my first and foremost, women hoops, man. It's off the chain, man. Hopefully we can get it to resonate, go to the WNBA level, but the college level is off the charts. And my favorite player right now, obviously, Caitlin, Juju Watkins can hoop. What she did this season, bro, coming in and getting that program back on the map hasn't really been that relevant since Cheryl Miller. And now you got him in the Elite Eight playing at a high level. You unfortunately lost to UConn, but you're gonna be able to take them those life lessons, losing against them, and be able to take it into next year and get better and better and hone in on your craft and your game. And I'll put it like I think it was who it was. It was Dame Lillard that said it. She reminded me of a young Melo, bro.
Young Melo.
Hey, young Melo.
As a Nuggets fan, I love that.
That's tough.
Check out, man. Juju Watkins, USC, man. Go check her out, man. She can hoop.
Facts, but and if you want to tap into some more women's hoop, we got the 2020-24 McDonald's All-American game on right now. Tune in on ESPN, man. There's a lot of good hoops going on right now, man.
No doubt. But all right, man, let's not waste no more time, man. Let's get the folks what they came for. Came for this top 26. We're gonna have honorable mentions, guys. As a disclaimer, we have to kind of redo it. We had a couple 25s in there, so that's gonna be redone. Some of the players asked me they're gonna be on. We gotta redo our honorable mentions list, and we're gonna bring on Duke the Scoop to react. Also, a disclaimer for him. Again, guys, the 26 class is very fresh for a lot of people. So, keep that in mind with our list. You know what I'm saying? So, but without further ado, I think we're ready.
Let's do it. Who introducing them? Go ahead, Bacon.
Hey, man, without further ado, man, welcome on one of the hottest, personalities in the game, man. Well, you need one scoop, you find two, but this is man with multiple scoops. If you read his articles, man, none that further do the scoop, man. Appreciate you for tuning in with us, brother.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, big dog? You all right?
Man, I'm good. What's up, man?
What's going on, dude?
Good, man.
Yeah, cool. Staying out the way. Ready to tackle this list. We'll see what we got. What's popping in 26.
Say less, man. Yeah, we appreciate you, man. We know you're a hot ticket right now, so we appreciate you just taking the time, man. We know it's spring break, but appreciate you coming on and kind of giving us some of your expertise, man.
No, absolutely, man. Any rep is a good rep. So,
definitely. Right. Before we get started, let's let Duke talk about himself a little bit, man. Tell us who you are, where you from, and tell us a little bit about how you got into where you at right now with On3.
Phillip Dukes. From College Park, Georgia, graduated Banneker High School, also went to Tri-Cities and Westlake. Graduated, went to Auburn University, worked in the athletic department, did a little bit of sports agent work when I first got out of school. X'd all of that out, went and built a career in manufacturing and logistics. Then just mid-career, I wasn't happy. I decided, I was like, bro, I'm going to go do sports. I used to throw parties, sell clothes. I used to do pretty much everything where I'm from. So a lot of people's parents I go back with, especially in that 2000 to 2006 era. But those are the parents of some of the top players in the country right now. So just being able to parlay those relationships and the relationships that I had from Auburn. I was in school with like the Jason Campbells, Ronnie Brown, Cadillac Williams, Brandon Jacobs. A lot of people don't realize Brandon Jacobs went to Auburn for a year. He was in that same backfield with Cadillac and Ronnie B. That's Braden Jacobs' father, 25, offensive tackle, 4-star. Super Bowl champion, but I was just able to parlay those relationships into getting inside information. I started putting it on Twitter. I blew it kind of blew up, and it was mainly Auburn information. I had some buddies that were on the staff. I took that, parlayed that into a job covering Auburn at 24/7, a part-time job at that. And then last year, I started to kind of create a groundswell of the Bolden family, KJ Bolden, his mom Keisha and his pops Kai. We got some history. Basically, they said we're going to give you the only interview he'll do the week before he commits, and that was like the biggest interview in college football at the time. And at that, I was working at 24/7 part time. On3 caught wind of it, and all of their top guys were trying to get the interview, and I ended up getting it. So they saw some value in that, and once they dug into my profile, they were like, "Shoot, how would you feel about coming over to On3?" And my free agency period didn't last long when my contract was up 24/7. So that's where I am now. They gave me a national job. I don't really write articles a whole lot anymore. I'm doing straight video work. So it's been opened up a lot of doors. My first month and a half on the job, I've done Atlanta Sports Radio, which I had never done before. I've been doing ESPN Radio. I actually got a spot on the Feinbaum show about a week ago. So just continue to stack and build, pray, and stay out the way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Love it. Love it. You guys got anything y'all want to say before we get started?
I just want to ask this, brother. My bad. Let me ask one more question. Just one question, one quick one. You talked about selling a lot of stuff. Just the hustle period, man. How do you feel like that translated to just in everything that you do in life?
Man, everything has value. It's just about the audience. So I don't care what it is. Like, I like right now, I got probably 100 pair of tennis shoes sitting behind this computer, right? All right, to the right person, these old shoes have value to them. Now, to the wrong person, they got no value. If a guy who only wears cowboy boots and Sebagos and stuff like that, he don't care nothing about what's going on behind his computer screen. So I think it's all about understanding your audience and understanding the value, and can you provide a tangible product. And at the barbershop in College Park, nobody cares about this 3-star that Auburn's about to get. So but since I had the information, I went and found out, where do they want this? And it was on the message boards. It was on Twitter. And so I think it's just all about finding a tangible product and understanding the audience around it and creating a market for it. And I think that's what I've been able. That has been how I've been able to parlay like my basically my hustle mentality in the sports media.
Love it.
That's a great answer, brother.
Definitely. All right, boys. Let's get.
You know I'm old,
so
at the end of the day, I got that old man wisdom. You feel me?
Hey, nah. I might have to run that back and write it down.
So,
nah. We got to get Duke when he had time. We got to get him out for lunch or something, man.
For sure,
yeah, for sure, man. We'll do this on me. We'll play around for a minute. Feel me?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Get the food from me.
Love it.
Maybe the cheetah or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the young boys out. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, for sure, man.
All right, let's rock.
Let's rock with it, man. So obviously, before we get started, because you know how this goes. We want to say this right in front. One, it's a consensus list. So it's between all three of us. Some people have some people higher. Some people have some people lower. Don't come at me. You can come at these two guys, but don't come at
I
me.
don't sing this out, brother.
Don't come
We
at
together. We a unit.
Second. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say the consensus part, and then I was gonna say it's all love. It's all love. So if you're not on the list, it's all love. And I mean, you can't be on this list at some point, bro. Like, it's just what we're seeing right now. Just see right now. Yeah, it's 2026. You got plenty of time. You guys can definitely develop. So, no hard feelings, bro. We love all you guys. We hope all of you guys get on this list at some point. But as of right now, this is how we feel. All right. So I just want to put that up. All right. Cool. I see some guys in here already. I see some of our dudes in here. So I appreciate everybody that's watching. We really do. But let's get to the list, man. So, Naj, you want to start us off?
Yeah, let rock. Come on.
All right, let's get it. 2026, 26 to 21. Let's get it. First part, let's do it.
All right, so at number 26, we got Ashton Moore from Alpharetta, man. Swiss Army knife on the defensive side of the ball, man. Plays linebacker, also can rush the passer at a high-end level. Kind of a slept-on prospect, man. He's in some ratings here and there, but somebody you guys should know, man. I think he's going to develop more into his body, get more physical, man. He can take your head off, man. He's the next level type of dude. At 25, got Markel Aguirre, man, from Luella. Guys, next level, man. At the DB position, man, and do a lot of things well. 24 is Anthony Davis, man. Very well could be a top 10 name in the state of Georgia. He's really that good. Grayson is loaded at the linebacker position. He's one of the reasons why him and Tyler Atkinson's off the charts. 23, probably a little slept on. Tyreek Green out of Cal. The season he had this past year, man, what he was able to do for that program. They got two-headed monster with him and Contreras Moon and Gibson. Man, they studs, man, and he's one of the reasons why they so good on the ground attack. 22, quarterback, I think real slept on as well. Brody McWhorter. I think this is the year, man, he kind of pops out, shows everybody what his talent really is. Played in the Georgia League Classic. He's been getting major offers, got a Georgia offer, recently Ohio State. I think he's going to definitely be a national name here soon. And then 21 is Jamar Owens from Jonesboro, just like his all-around game in that DB, man. And I'm going to be real with y'all. Jonesboro might got one of the best secondaries in the state.
They do got some dogs out there. They do.
Literally.
Definitely. All right, dudes. Let's get Duke to talk about this part of the list. What you think about it so far, man?
Man, so Ashton Moore, he's somebody who I think he transferred into Alfred. I think he grew up in Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. He's somebody who there's been a mass exodus at Alpharetta. He's somebody they're going to build that defense around. They got a really good defensive lineman there, too, that trains with Marcus Howard. His name slips me at the time. But when you talk about somebody who just has a lot of aggression, that plays with it, who explodes out of the hips when he makes tackles, I think that he's a guy who's going to rise up, rank his boards. Anthony Davis, little Ant out of Grayson, he's another guy who has a really big chip on his shoulder, feels like he should be ranked higher. When I talk to guys from different ratings departments, they want to see some more game film, but he has all the physical traits of one of those really flexible or versatile will linebackers on the next level. Somebody who can play off the ball, he can rush the passer. He's not going to be a liability in pass coverage. And then Tyreek Green, Ty Boogie, his uncle, man, he comes from a really athletic family. His uncle Travis Booker, I think, is the running backs coach at Cal right now. But or maybe he's a receiver coach. I forgot what book he is. But Tyreek Green is somebody who projects as a safety on the next level. He could play both ways, but I think that his ability as safety is going to be what really sets him apart. Super fast, explosive. He packs a punch. And when you talk about him offensively, he's a guy that you can run outside zone with effectively and also inside zone who's not afraid to mix it up in the interior. So, I think this part of the list is really good. And Jamar Owens, man, he's like, I think Jamar is about a legit 6 feet. Lengthy guy when it comes to as far as range in the secondary. And I think that he's one of the guys who could project to play cornerback or safety based on how he develops. So this is a really good part of the list.
Yeah, man. I like everything you said about a lot of these players. Austin Moore is a guy that I have to get a little bit more familiar with. Like this guy said, he's a transfer, so I have to get a little bit more familiar with him. Markel, I've been watching him since I've been watching his brother, Yeah, Popo. Sorry, second on his name. Popo, a really good linebacker. So he got a lot of his. He's learning from what his brother did. And I always seen him and his brother together on a lot of 7-on-7s, and I just seen him develop over their time and get better and better each year. So that parent is definitely helping out. Anthony Davis, a Grayson guy. Like you said, very athletic, still a little raw, but you could tell he got a lot of athletic ability around him. Humble kid. Interviewed him when he was, I think, a freshman. So he was a guy that's shooting up the boards. He got his guy Tyler that's right there with him. They work off each other, and I think it's a very good 1-2 punch there. Green is the guy that I recently just discovered. He's a really fast and nimble running back. I really like him. Brody's a quarterback. I'm very curious to see how he does without White back there as his receiver. But he's a really good quarterback, smart guy. You can tell he don't turn the ball over, those kind of things right there. And Owens, I'm not too familiar on Owens, but from what I'm hearing, he's a up and coming guy, and I think he's going to be ascending. So, what's up, Bacon?
Yeah, man, I got to start with Jamar, man. It's probably the most intriguing person to me on this list. I seen them when they play. Who they play? I think it was Woodward Academy. Had a sensational pick, came out of nowhere. So just a natural ball hawk. You know what I'm saying? Defensive back. What I'm saying? DB, safety, hybrid, super big playmaker, man. Coming out of 2026. Maybe in a lot of other people's opinions should be a little higher. But you know what I'm saying? This is a happy meeting for him right here. But I definitely, you know what I'm saying, as the season progressed, I could see him rise up this board. I'm gonna go to Markel. You know what I'm saying? I've been knowing Markel since his freshman year at Whitewater. You know what I'm saying? I think he's training with Atlanta Fitness right now, if I'm not mistaken. But you know what I'm saying? Just seeing him growing to his body and mature. I believe he plays quarterback at Luella, a little bit of everything. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver. So super talented, super athletic, you know what I'm saying? So definitely intrigued to see how he goes into his junior season. Ashton Moore, man. Naj was telling us about him. I believe it was Sunday during the weekend. Super raw, super not really polished right now, but you know what I'm saying, just a beast, man. Natural ability to really get back there, rush the passer, antagonize running back. So, man, as he kind of fine-tunes his technique, this could be another stock rise. There's a lot of these guys on this. It's like Duke was talking about Anthony Davis, no play on words, man. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of talented kids right here, man. And then the quarterback, McWhorter.
I can see about him.
Yeah. I like his ball placement, you know what I'm saying? Tight throwing motion. So, like, this is a super talented group. It's just unfortunate that they had to fall on the bottom of this list, but everybody can play, man. But yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, man. Definitely a talented group of 2026, man. We was struggling. I think we struggled more on this one than in 2025 for sure. So, again, these guys can be mixed up in any kind of spot. Again, this is just how it kind of fell for us. But this is probably the part of the list where it differed the most, which is like around this part and the mid part for sure. So, all right, we ready for the next portion? Let's run it. 20-16. Let's go.
All right, so at number 20 is athlete Hayes Kent. I know he's on a lot of boards, man. On3, 247 has him very, very highly rated. Versatile, can do a lot of things well. Reason why he made a list. 19. I still think that's kind of low for Amari Latimer, man. What he did for Sandy Creek, he's basically the whole offense to a degree. And they lean on him very heavily. Obviously, I know he has over probably 30+ offers. I just think he's probably one of the best running backs, in the 2026 class, let alone in the state. I think his potential is through the roof. Xavier Tiller, same thing, man. Potential through the roof. He flashed a lot last year. He's going to be a big focal point in that Langston Hughes offense this upcoming year. They got a new wide receiver coach that coming in too, Coach Brown. So I can't wait to see what they use and how they decide to use them a little bit. 17, Cortez Redding. I got to look into him a little bit more, but I did like what I seen on the film and kind of how he flashed and the ability that he showed. And then 16, Ryan Mosley. I mean, that Carrollton offense, man, is going to be off the charts this year. He's one of the reasons why him, Christian Ward, or Evan Ward, they just got some dudes, man. And I think Mosley is going to be a strong reason why Carrollton can get to a state championship game.
We think Duke.
Yeah. Speaking on Mosley, man, he's a guy. He's so big at that age. I think right now he's right. I think he's right, like around 6'2", 6'3". He's one of the guys. He profiles very favorably to the #1 receiver in Alabama last year, who's killing it at Auburn right now, Cam Coleman. If I had to pick somebody to compare his game to, that's who I would compare it to. It's gonna be really good, high pointing the ball. When you think about that offense that they'll have this year, a lot of the things that were going to Caleb Odom last year will be going to Ryan this year, especially when you think about bringing. I think I'm not sure, but did they get Peyton Zachary over there?
Yes, they did.
Yep. So when you look at the and I'm hearing there's a couple other receivers that are thinking about changing that area, their zip code. So talk about the focal point of your offense with probably the best quarterback in the country, depending on who you ask, and Juju Lewis. Yeah, it's going to be a very exciting year for Ryan Mosley. Amari Latimer goes about maybe 5'9", 5'10", like 180, 185, but he has that real wiry strength. He runs like a ball of knives. You don't want to tackle him, and then if he sees an opening, then he's 1000% taking it to the house. He's one of those guys that you don't see get caught from behind often, and he erases angle. So I think that's really good. And he does have some potential on defense as well. 18, Xavier Tiller. Zay has a lot of people call him. He's probably one of the most athletically gifted players in the state this year. When you talk about a guy who was a decent basketball player, but translates his basketball ability to the football field, high points the ball, has really good hips for somebody his size. When we talk about hip sync, that allows you to get in and out of your breaks, excuse me. And talking to some guys, a lot of people, he hasn't been seen in camp. He was one of the biggest no-shows at the UA camp, and I say biggest because there were so many people waiting to see him. Talking to rankings guys, he's one of the few guys that they felt could be a top 2 or top 3 player overall in Georgia if he was seen more often. He's somebody that I look to shoot up the boards, and when you look at college, his offer list is amazing already. So I think that Xavier Tiller is somebody who's going to really blow up this year. And Hayes Kent, am I saying that right?
Yep.
Yeah, Hayes Kent. When we talk about a pure athlete, somebody who can do a lot of things on the field, I think he's at Brunswick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So he does basically everything for that team, and he's somebody that you can see if he continues to be the focal point of their attack, and they use him more as a weapon on defense and structure more of the defense around him. If I've got the right guys, he does play defense as well, right?
Yeah, he's a whole athlete. Yeah, he played both sides.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, from what I saw, he has the type of athletic ability that's going to allow him to go a long way.
Yeah, definitely. Hayes Kent is a guy that plays running back, linebacker, down in the dirt. Man, he'll come after the quarterback. He's a guy, man, and I think he's going to be kind of that Sammy Brown kind of guy for his team, man, to put him everywhere, and they really rely on him. So he's going to be one of those guys up and coming where you see him just a straight athlete. Like, some of these athletes be wide receiver DBs kind of in that same round. He does everything. So he's a big asset to that team. Latimer is the guy that I had to get pit on from Naj, and from his tape, I like him, man. He got some speed on him too. He's not just a little tank. He got a little speed on him, so I like that with him. He got some good vision as well. So Tiller's a guy I'm very high on. He's a little lengthy for a tight end, which is what he listed it as. But I see him like more like a wide receiver. Very lengthy, long arms, go up and get the ball kind of guy. I really do like him. Cortez is a guy from Jonesboro. Apparently, I got his picture wrong, so I'll fix that, coach. Coach in here told me the wrong. I got the wrong jersey, so I'll fix that. But definitely a very athletic wide receiver DB guy that plays at Jonesboro. Ryan Mosley, man, what can I say? Big receiver. Another go up there and get it kind of guy. Carrollton, man, I don't know how they're gonna feed all these guys, but they got some dudes over here. They're stacked, and I think that he's gonna be one of the guys that benefits from being on a good team like this too. So, what do you think, Biggie?
Yeah, back to what you just said about the offense. I think you just gotta get these guys in motion, man. Little end around, wide receiver, little bubble screens. Got to just get creative as you can, man, because everybody's gonna be an asset. Like Nas says, starting 5. Then I go to it, Xavier Tiller, kind of work my way around. You know, yeah, like a physical specimen, man. Kind of you can see he could do a little bit of everything. One thing I feel like that hurt his rank was an art thing, which is when I seen him this year. Well, Langston kind of struggled passing the ball a little bit this year, man. It really got behind that offensive line and let Savage do his thing, man. So hopefully this year, you know what I'm saying, Langston coming in, they can kind of get some things going through the air raid offense this year for Big Langston, the poets, as I like to call him, for Mr. Amari Latimer, man. It's what can I say, man? His brother G Lat, man, they're just a family of dogs, man. I was talking to his pops. It was during the basketball season, man. So yeah, just dogs, man. They always working, you know what I'm saying? Like Deuce was saying, a ball full of knives, man. Nobody want to tackle him. Super physical, high motor, not scared of nobody, man. So we got another back that's gonna be that's ahead of him, but it's real close. I believe it's the one from a Central Carrollton, Joe Naz Walter, but it's a toss up, you know what I'm saying? And then Cortez Redden, super electric route runner, man, could run almost every route in the route tree, man. Quick feet, good hands, man. A super electric offense, man. And then Mr. Kent, I'm not too familiar about it, but he is a DSGB down South Georgia boy, man. So if down South Georgia boys know how to get it done, man. Like y'all was saying, he's super versatile. So man, like I said, man, it's a list where everybody can go up, but you know, just well complete, man. Well complete, man. Now I gotta ask you this. You talked about him being similar to Cam Coleman. Do you believe he got the catch radius like Cam? Because Cam catching everything, brother.
I mean, he's got the tools. Now, when I say how he profiles body-wise, now what you do with that body is different. I don't know how each joint the flexibility that he has, but he does profile favorably to Cam Coleman at this point in their careers.
All right, for sure. You are the insider.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next.
15 and 11. Let's do it.
All right. So 15 got Jonas Walton. Bacon was talking a little bit about him. Had a strong sophomore season. A team that went their furthest, had the best season under Coach Brown in a long time. Obviously with freshman quarterback J.R. Harris. He was one of the strong reasons why. 14, Xavier Griffin. Some might say he's a little too low. I know he's been getting a lot of buzz. I know he's very high on Georgia. I can't wait to see what he's able to do this year as well. I think he got a bright future. Julius Columbus obviously just committed to Duke, so they're going to have a very talented defensive line group for 7 this year. 13, Cam Brooks. That goes without question. Thomas County Central just won the state championship. The defense was stout, man, all sides. You can think of DB, linebacker, defensive line. I mean, he was a wrecking ball on defense this past year, so he had to make our list. And then 12, Deuce Gerald's. I know some people are high on him. Some people might think he's a little too low. But I like his upside. I like Collins Hill as their defense and the Coach Schwick. You know, I just want to see him a little bit more, but I definitely think, you know, he's a top 26 player without a doubt from what he's proved. And then 11, we went back and forth on this one. I'm not gonna lie. I really think Caden Proto, he projects high, man. That 6'6" frame, man, he kind of reminds me a little bit of just, you know, throw him up the ball, he gonna go get it. So it was hard. I definitely wanted him in the top 10. I had him like top 7, top 6, but kid can ball, but, you know, obviously the consistency rating. But Proto's that dude, man, and I can't wait to see what he does for about him.
It's good, Duke.
Man, so when you talk about a guy like Jonas Walton, he reminds me of Cam Davis, that compact, really fast, big, strong type guy. I think he had like 1,700 yards his freshman year. Comes back, has another crazy year. Won the state 200 meters in 8th grade, I believe. Like, he's a track guy. When you have a guy who profiles as a football player with legit track speed, and you give them the ball in that offense, you're going to see fireworks, and that's all you've seen since he stepped on the field as a high school football player. He could have easily been ranked higher. I think right now he's one of the few guys on this list ranked at the top 10 in his class, if I'm not mistaken, depending on which ranking sites you use. So he's somebody they definitely should be excited about. And I think he's just going to continue to develop. When you talk about a guy like Caden Prothro, we just got through talking about Caleb Odom. That's who he is to me.
Yes.
Almost the same size. When you look at where they were and how they were built, could he play wide receiver? Absolutely. I'm not sure how much long speed he has, but that's the same question they had about Caleb Odom, and now he's on the perimeter at Alabama. So he's somebody who can be in that Evan Ingram type position, a move tight end, maybe not a true tight end, a move tight end, an athlete. And he's so young in his development. He's the type of guy that if you wanted to put him somewhere else, you could. When you look at, and I always like to talk about hip level, especially with taller guys, because the lower you can sink your hips, the more you can do. So he's a guy who's going to run. He can run the entire route tree. He's not just a guy who can run seams, but man, he is such a matchup problem when it comes to seams. And then talking about a guy like Cameron Brooks, who had a really, really productive season. He's already built like a grown man. I think he's at about 6'3", 230, somewhere in there. His frame has so much room to develop, like a big ball of clay. And so when you think about the things that college coaches salivate over, lower bend, how can you get around a corner, explosion. And then you talk about his ability to squat. I've heard some coaches talk about how strong he is in the weight room. So he's a guy who's just waiting to explode. And Deuce Gerald's is a guy who could play anywhere on the defensive line, inside or out. He can play 1 through 5 if you needed him to. And he's been successful everywhere he played. And I think he's going to continue that going forward. And he's somebody who the ratings teams have been over. They're very familiar with Deuce Gerald's, and they just want to see him put it all together his junior year before he gets ranked even more highly than he is now.
Yeah, I agree. Deuce and Portro, man, I would have loved to have them a little bit higher, but Gerald's definitely is one of those guys that have it's more potential than production at this point. But I think like he has the makeup to get to that point. Portro, y'all pretty much said it, man. He's a huge guy. Catch radius is insane. Like you say, I hope he can be a little bit faster. But and I would like him to block a little bit better too. That's another thing I would like. Which is the big deal right now, which a lot of teams are using. He's like you said, a matchup problem. Xavier Griffin is the guy that I'm not too familiar on, but I've seen a little bit of his tape. He's a solid guy, get off the line pretty well, get to the quarterback, take him down as soon as possible. So I like him. Cameron Brooks, man, that dude's athletically, like this dude is big, and he has production, man. He's a huge guy. He looks the part, and when he gets out there, he comes with attitude, and I love that about him. Giannis is a running back that I just learned about. He is a tough dude, though. I like him. I like his running style. Another Najee guy. So he put me on him a little bit more than I've seen. I've seen some of them before Nas, but Nas put me on a little bit more. He's a guy that I really want to. I'm very intrigued with, for sure. What do you think, Bacon?
Yeah, man, Joe Nash he's a monster. He's a problem. I think 1,700 his freshman year. That just lets you know the type of caliber back he is. Game breaker waiting to happen. Cam Brooks, I should have watched the state championship a lot more closer, but time is kind of essential. Put everybody on notice towards the back end of that playoff run, and coming through for the chip in 6A. And super big guy, man. So it's really athletic, but I need to study him a lot more to really get my true breakdown. Deuce Gerald's, I know I said it. May have heard some whispers. Kind of like obviously a smaller defensive lineman. Early far out comparisons to Aaron Donald. Just being so strong, so compact, but definitely high upside, man. And then Mr. Griffin, man, I was watching his film. Super great get off, real physical, good hands, out backfield monster. So Gainesville's got a embarrassment of riches up there, man. And Caden Porto, like I've been saying, man, I was really impressed with him, man. Can go anywhere, inside, outside, move him around, kind of like I said about Caleb. Once he gets in the open field, good luck catching him. Catch radius out of this world, athletic. He can do it all, man. So definitely will be going down to Bowden. And I'm definitely gonna go down to Central Carrollton to see these Caden and Joe Nash, man. Super talented kids.
Yes, sir. All right, top 10. Get into the good stuff. Let's do it.
You know it.
All right, 10 to 6. Let's do it.
All right, so 10-6, 10 man, John Tavis Wyman, man. I think he could potentially be one of the best athletes, man, in the country. I don't say that slightly, man. What he's able to do, y'all go back, go watch the film, man. One of his games, 150 yards passing, 150 yards receiving, multiple touchdowns, pick sixes. I had one game he had 3 INTs in. I mean, he just does everything well, everything you need and want him to do, he could do on the football field, either side of the ball. So I can't wait to see his future. Heavily recruited guy. Kid's just special. At 9, got Rodney Colton Jr. from Noonan. Obviously, man, probably one of the better linebackers that you will definitely see. Definitely want to see him play, with more winning football. But I mean, the kid's special. Obviously, a lot of teams want him. What he's able to do, just the versatility, man, and play downhill. One of the best ones. 8, Dorian Barney, probably one of the top cover guys that you'll see here in the state. Probably him and Zealous, that's neck and neck for as top cover guys, I think, in the state that you got right now. And he just possesses a lot of those elite qualities, man, you need at the quarterback position on the next level. 7, Bryce Perry Wright. Man, I got to see him a couple times last year, man, and dude was a beast. Only was a sophomore this past year, man, but I mean, he was absolutely killing offensive lines. I remember the game against Marietta, they just couldn't block him. They had to start double teaming him. Like, he's just that dude. I know some people don't have him rated this high, but I think Bryce Perry Wright gonna put some people on notice and show. And then 6, a lot of people gonna say, well, why is he so high? Look, man, 2026 class, he was second to, as Duke said, the top quarterback potentially who you talk to in the country in Julian Lewis last year and throwing. Put Peachtree Ridge back, I think, on the map. 10-win season, man. Man, he can throw any throw that you want him to do. He's cool, calm, and collected. He can run with his legs. He don't turn over the ball a lot. I think he's just going to grow and mature even more, man. So, and my hot take, I think Darnell Kelly is the best quarterback in 2026. This is why he's rated so high, and I easily think he's a top 5 quarterback in the state.
Boom.
Dude.
I'm gonna start with Dorian Barney. He's somebody who has elite size and length to play the defensive back. When you see him play in the corner, he can high point the ball. He does everything that you would need to do on that on the next level. When you look at his offer list, it's going insane. It seems like every other day is popping up Dorian Barney, Georgia, Dorian Barney, Florida State. So when you talk to coaches about him, he has that elite length that you want at the cornerback position. That's hard to find, and he may not even be through growing. Talk about a guy like Rodney Colton, who basically looked like Debo since he stepped on the field. Like, I mean, when you saw him as a freshman, I was like, the first time I saw him, I was like, no way he's a freshman. And his body has continued to develop. He hasn't stretched out like some people may have thought that he was, but he was already 6'1". So it really, like, where he is now, he's fine-tuning his game. Linebacker coaches are salivating over him, and he's one guy that when he hits you, he announces it. I always judge linebackers about what happens when he gets to the ball. A lot of guys will be big, and a lot of times guys will have that big Johnny Bravo chest, and they're the first guy that walks off the bus, and then they get there. Then when it's time for action, they tucking their tail. But he's not one of those guys. He wants to dominate the game and let you know that he's there from the first play. So I think that's going to bode very well for him on the next level. We talk about Bryce Perry, right? Somebody who's already been highly ranked. He has one of those type of frames that can go either way. If you wanted him to slim down and put him on the edge, you could. And if you want to put some weight on him and make him more of a 3 technique or even a 5, he could do that as well. I think he probably he kind of reminds me of what's my guy who went to Ohio State last year from Buford. He reminds me of Edric. Yep, he kind of reminds me of Edric a little bit at a younger stage in his development. So I think he's somebody that's going to do really well. And Darnell Kelly, aka the creative player. Somebody who, when you look at it, he has creative player stats when you look at him. So he's a guy that easily could have stayed at Langston Hughes, but he was ready. He learned from that year under Aaron Olin, and he took everything he learned, and he's been able to blossom at Peachtree Ridge. And now they have some guys I've heard that have been looking at Peachtree Ridge who may be making that move to Gwinnett. So as they continue to open up that offense, you can see those numbers get even crazier.
Yeah, man. Darnell Kelly, what can I say about him? I call him the underrated player, man, because I think people are sleeping on him too much, man. And I don't know. I had him a little bit higher on my personal list, to be honest. It's not too much, but I had him on my personal list a little higher. I do think he's the best quarterback in Georgia. Like Nod said, I don't think that was a hot take at all, man. I think that was appropriate to say that. No offense to the other quarterbacks, but he just got it together, man. not only with the arm, but you know, he can scramble, he can get out of place, he can make plays up, you know, and you know, make things happen. So that was a big part of success. That's a lot of what the NFL quarterbacks are doing right now. Is you know, you got the Caleb Williams, you got the Patrick Mahomes that kind of create, you know, plays, you know, and when a play breaks down, he know what to do. He don't panic, you know. So he's one of those type of players. Bryce Perry, right, man. I remember it was Buford versus Douglas County, I believe. That's the one we went to, Bacon. And all you seen was, and I was looking for Houston the whole entire game. He was balling out too, but bro, like this kid right here, he kept flashing. I'm like, yo, who is this guy? I kept thinking it was Houston. I kept thinking it was Houston. It was him, bro. Like it was going back and forth at it, harassing the quarterback back then, and you know it was real fun to look at that pairing. You know, now it's his range to kind of you know take over that number one edge rusher on that team. So it's his time now, and I think he can definitely blossom. Let me see. Colston is a guy that I don't know too much about. I don't watch Newton enough, so I'm definitely going to be looking out for him. Dorian is the guy that I want to hire on here as well. Man, he's a baller, bro. I'm a DB guy, so I'm a little more biased on DBs. But bro, this I was like, this kid he got the length, he got the swagger, he got the ball hawking ability. I love it, bro. And he's a guy that why PC Rich and him and Kelly, bro, on opposite sides of the ball, bro, it's awesome to watch this team, man. I mean, it's so fun to watch this team. Wyman is a guy that I need to look at a little bit more as well. But I heard a lot of good things about him. I watched a little bit of tape on him. He looks pretty good with that. So the comment says, "No, this is terrible." Hey, man, I appreciate you getting on, though. Hey, tell us why it's terrible. Let us know. Appreciate that. All right, Bacon, what do you think?
Yeah, for sure. John Tavis Wyman, another ball hawk in that Jonesboro secondary, man. He had like a couple tip picks, like 2 or 3 pick sixes, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Anytime you're doing that as a DB, man, you know, that speaks for itself. You're definitely elite. Dorian Barney, another elite cover corner as well. Always run the ball, super good technique, fluid hips, you know what I'm saying, rangy, long. So that's good for, you know what I'm saying, batted down passes or competition in the air. No way I'm 10. Hey, twin, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, man.
It's early. Stay down for the come up. Number 7, Bryce Perry, right? Super dog, man. I was in the backfield as well. Heavy, you know what I'm saying, heavy set, heavy loaded, ready to go. Number 9, man. Shout out to the in-town, man. You know what I'm saying? Rod gonna do his thing, man. He tore his meniscus this year, but he's gonna be back in full force. Like Duke said, when he get there, he gonna let you know it, man. He gonna talk his piece, man. Super talented. What I really like about him, man, is when he gets it all formed together, man, it's gonna be really scary. To be that big and to be able to move at his size is elite. You know what I'm saying? On to number 6, Darnell Kelly, the creative player, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all done said it all, man. Y'all must ain't seen 4-star Jalen Copeland from South Georgia. He like that. Drop his film, man. Drop his film in the section so we can check him out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've been hearing about him lately, bro.
Yeah, we got to redo our honorable mentions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, that wasn't no bad comment. Copeland hard.
Yeah, no, he is, bro. He the truth. No doubt.
Thanks, bro.
All right. Big, you done?
Yeah, I mean, y'all already said about DK, man. Yeah, you know, see the truth, man. You can go ahead.
All right, so we're gonna do the top 5 a little bit differently. We're gonna do each one by one. So let's do it. Number 5. Y'all ready for this?
Easy.
I'm gonna let you start, Duke.
Man, Devin. I mean, we talk about somebody who could change the game. He got some of the best. He's trained with multiple people. I think he's with Top Shelf right now, but I think he is. But yeah, Devin is somebody who can do. He can play slot if he has to. He can also play the perimeter. A lot of times you see guys that are one dimensional. They're either a slot or they're a perimeter guy, but he can do both. Really strong hands. He does exactly, and his run after the catch ability, I think, is underrated. I think the more he starts to develop, you'll see more ways that they'll get him the ball. You got to think in that offense last year, you had to feed Bo. I think Bo Walker you had to feed. So he wasn't exactly the focal point, but everybody knows what he does when he gets the ball. And I think as he continues to grow and continues to develop, he could possibly be the #1 wide receiver in Georgia when it's all said and done.
That's some high praise right there, Dukes. I agree with you, man. I'm gonna say his underrated part of his game is his route running, man. I mean, he put on an absolute show, man, at the Under Armour camp, man. I mean, he was torching them defenders 1-2, and he was going out the break, and they could not stay with him, man. I mean, he's absolutely torching defenders. But yeah, like you said, strong hands, man. Reason why Cedar Grove was so good last year, you couldn't, like, if you stacked the box to stop Bo, you had this problem, you know what I'm saying, on the perimeter or in the slot that could kill you, man. So it's going to be interesting to see how it looks this year for them. Obviously, got some changes. A new head coach, Roderick Moore. They're not going to have Coach Adams anymore. EJ Coaster reclassified, so he's not there anymore. So they're going to have a couple more questions this offseason than last year. But, I mean, if you got a stud like this, man, you feel pretty good about it. Just give him the ball and let him do his thing, man. I mean, the kid is special, and I agree with Dukes, man. He could very well be in that conversation as top receiver in the state, let alone maybe even the country.
Yeah, man, I agree with the route running part of it, and he's smooth. That boy is just smooth in his breaks, bro, and it just looks so effortless. Like you said, Naj, in the UA camp, he was really balling out right there, and you know, I seen him at the Georgia Tech 7-on-7 as well, standing out to me, and I'm just like, man, he was this kid, and I was like, this kid, like, nah, let me look him up, and he just every time I go out and see him, he just at JJ Justin Jefferson vibes, man, with his route running. He's just so smooth and just in and out. Like, you know, it's just so effortless. And I love that about him.
Nah, for sure, man. Yeah, Devin's definitely elite, man. Comes from a pedigree, man. His pops did his thing at Florida State. So you know what I'm saying? He definitely knows the ball, man. His pops with no slouch by no means. So, man, the sky's the limit, man. The sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be interesting to see if the brother stays around at Cedar Grove. A lot of moving around, you know what I'm saying? But unless he is top 5 on this list, maybe top 3 on some others, but definitely an elite route runner and an elite pass catcher.
100%. All right, let's get to number 4. Zealous.
Yeah, so this was tough for me. I ain't gonna lie, we was debating this. I feel like Zealous is too low at 4. I really think he should be like 1 to 2. That's just how special I think he is, man. And when it comes down to Zealous, man, it's mindset. I think that differentiates him from a lot of the others, man. Like, you know, going again back to the UA camp, him asking the coach, hey, okay, you know, how do I improve this? Like, what am I doing wrong here? Like, sometimes you don't always get guys that do that. Guys are complacent where they at. And they're like, oh, yeah, I know I'm a stud. That's it. But Zella's got a different kind of mindset. He's always trying to grow. He's always trying to get better. He's always trying to fine-tune his game so he can be the best that he can be. So I'm real high on Zealous. I think he is the piece that puts Carrollton over the top because he's going to play both sides of the ball, and he's going to be that kind of that ball hawk that they've needed for years on the back end in the secondary. And offensively, he's just going to be a chess piece you can use anywhere on the field, and he's going to be able to go get the ball.
Yeah, I think Zealous Hicks is somebody who's definitely been a focal point of ratings teams for every major service since he stepped on the field as a high school player. I didn't realize he was going. Well, from the first time I saw him, I didn't know he had that type of ability to grow. He's stressed out, so that even just raises his profile. I think he's around like 6'2" now. We talk about somebody who makes an impact when they get to the ball, great ball skills, tracks the ball well. And when you saw Parkview's team, which was loaded last year, you just kind of realized that they've been loaded for the past couple of years. And as a true freshman, that first year where you could just see like, hey, he's different. Like, you know, when you talk about playing with the Mike Matthews or playing with the Antonio White, playing with Jalen Crawford, and still be able to hold his own as a 15-year-old, you just kind of knew there was something special about it. And I think Carrollton's getting a really special player.
Yeah, man, Zealous is the guy that I've been eyeing for a while. I've been covering Parkview. Actually, I think Parkview probably the first school I've been covering since I came to Georgia. And this kid always shined to me. And last year, I told him, like, I went to an interview, and I'm just like, what the hell you been eating, bro? Because, I'm telling you, from like 5'7", 5'8", to like 6'2", like, and it's over over. I'm just like, bro, like, what? How you did it, bro? So, like, you know, he loves ball. He wants to play all that.
Yeah, twin.
Both sides, hungry to eat all that. So, definitely good to see him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My bad, Jerome. His audio's kind of going a little bit in and out, brother. I didn't know he was gonna be playing the both ways, but he is a phenomenal athlete, man. Phenomenal athlete. You know what I'm saying? What really stands out to me is, you know what I'm saying, he comes off his edge. Well, he's a pick and pass rush from the secondary position, gets a couple sacks, you know what I'm saying, possibly forced fumble with the hits on the quarterback, real sneaky quick. So, you know what I'm saying, definitely elite, man. Aside from being this, you know what I'm saying, elite specimen at the DB position, but when you can come off the edge and attack the quarterback, that sets you on another caliber from the rest, man.
No doubt about it. I think Jerome tried to log back in. I know he's doing our graphics, so we kind of on standby. There you go.
Good. Now you smooth.
All right, cool. We back. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
You got 3.
Should I go over my part again?
Yeah. No.
All right, real quick. Like I said, I've been covering this guy since I came to Georgia. Parkview was one of the first schools that I covered, so I got to watch him very, very early on. And I'm telling you, this kid was like 5'7", 5'8", small kid. Then, you know, the next summer, 6'2". I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, bro, Zealous, what the hell you be eating, bro? Like he loves ball, man. He's always happy. He's always ready to play. Want to play both sides. You know, willing to do whatever he can to stay on the field and get on the field. He's a guy that Carrollton's gonna love. They're gonna love a guy that's willing and ready to do anything. I was a lot more impressed with his defense this year because when I first met him, he was trying to go out there as a receiver. So, you know, he played DB last year, and, you know, he was thumping dudes. Like, he was hitting people, like, hard. And he said that. He was like, I put all this weight on to hit somebody. So, Zealous is definitely a guy that's going to be able to do both, and he loves ball, man. I love guys that love ball. So,
facts.
Definitely.
Just wait on it, brand of a champion.
Just wait. All right, well, I guess you don't have to wait too much longer. I guess you guys want to
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
Number 3, let's do it.
Yeah.
There you go. Got your wish.
Yep. So number 3, Jordan Breeze, corner, man, again, has high upside edge. I think what impressed me the most, man, is not just his ability, but how he talked about how he wants to be more of a leader this year, lead by example, and be more of a vocal kind of person. That takes a lot of maturity. Sometimes you have guys that are elite like this that, you know, they care, they want to like focus on their play, let their play do the talking. But just seeing him in this past spring and a little bit going into deep spring in this recruitment cycle, seeing him want to be more of a leader and challenging himself and his teammates to be the best that they can be going into this pivotal year for Douglas County, I think says a lot, man. But he could do a little bit of everything, man. I can't wait to see what his upside is, and he's a dog.
Yeah, absolutely. He's another one of those versatile players that can play inside or outside. He's going to project as an edge, but he looks at as a guy that you could probably be like, is he a 200? How big does he get? Right now, I think he's around 232, 235, and that's easy. So he's a guy who can actually project to being a 265-pound guy with great speed, who can set the edge. And that's what you're looking for in the college game today. When you look at all these hybrid fronts, when they're playing 3-3-5 or they're playing 4-2-5, you have to have a guy who can be sturdy at the point of attack when it comes to setting the edge for rushing for the run game as well as rushing the passer. A lot of the times you see guys that have to be substituted because they only have one facet. Well, this guy's a multifaceted guy who allows you to disguise your defense because you don't know what he's doing. Like a lot of teams now are playing a type of defense, and you play a position based on where the hash is. And you can't do that unless you have those type of guys that can move from the 3 to the 5 to the 1, wherever he has to be, wherever the hash is, he's one of those guys. I actually saw him about 2 weeks ago. I think Douglas County came to Auburn, and I happened to be there at Auburn on that day, and I saw him, and he looked like he was already at Auburn. He's a guy who's going to continue to develop, and he has a chance to be one of the top. I mean, he's one like there are this top three. I know two of them for sure in this class have the ability to turn into top three, top two players in the nation, not just Georgia.
I agree, man. Burton Breeze is a guy that got that typical DN edge rusher kind of body, man. He's very flexible. He can get off the edge really well, bend around a corner, get to the quarterback. He bring that attitude, which I love about him, man. But also he's still at the same time very humble kid. But he's a go-getter, bro. He's just gonna see that quarterback and just gonna tap. And I seen him get double teamed last year and totally did like a spin move on him. And I don't see a lot of high school to do that spin move to perfection. He was so smooth about that spin move. I was like, oh yeah, he's a guy. I think it was the Woodworth game last year, man. He was causing havoc against that quarterback, and they had to do a little bit of quarterback change because how he was trying to getting back there, and they had to just like, shoot, we got to get somebody that's a little bit more mobile. So he caused his teams to completely change their game plan, man. And I seen that, and I was just like, man, this guy's gonna be a future guy, man. He's gonna be doing some stuff. You're gonna hear his name for a long time.
Most definitely, man. I believe he said he wanted 100 tackles, 12 plus sacks this year, man. And you know what I'm saying, with a motor like that, with a body style like that, it's very 100 tackles is a little tough. But you know what I'm saying, nonetheless, it's very possible, you know what I'm saying, what you speaking into is this manifestation, and definitely puts work behind what he does. And bring it back to the point of the Under Armour camp. The brother didn't lose many reps, you know what I'm saying? He won majority of his reps, man. Definitely was one of the players that set the camp on fire. Very high on Mr. Breeze, man, and the sky's the limit for him as well, man. So let's hop into 2.
Let's get it. Number 2. You already know who he is, my boy, Aaron. Bling bling. Look at him.
There he is, man. Number 2, Aaron Gregory, man. Just one of those guys, like Duke said, man. Out of that top 3, you could easily see them become that highly ranked nationally. Like that's just how special they are. Runs with Phenom Elite, Raw 7-7 in Miami. Kid's just a stud. He was invited to the Under Armour game. When he went down there, I think it was in Orlando, and he put on an absolute show. I mean, he's just one of the best players in the country, without a doubt. What can you not ask him to do that he can do? Right. He's a complete package.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one of those guys that does everything well. You basically just, if you ask him to play quarterback, he could play it. If you ask him to play DB, he could play it. I mean, he's just one of those guys who really does a lot well. When you think about what Douglas County has, they got the quarterback for Alpharetta, I think, going there this year. I forgot his name. Bordeaux. Yep, they got Bordeaux going. So when you look at him, you look at James Johnson. Yeah, you look at James. When you look at what they're putting together at DC, man, it kind of is reminiscent of what they had at Langston Hughes about 2 years ago, where they had Big Bo and T-Love and all of those weapons that they had on that team. That's what Douglas County looks like this year when you talk about how much talent they have. And at the top of that list, you got to go Aaron Gregory. Every college coach that I talk to, wide receiver coach, that's the first guy they talk about in the state. And that's before they talk about the 25 guys. And there's some 25 guys that are like that in the state this year. But Aaron Gregory is arguably the top receiver in the state, regardless of class. And as he continues to develop, you'll see him. He'll possibly be the wide receiver 1 in the nation.
Yeah, man. Aaron Gregory, man, a guy that I cover a lot, man. This guy, like y'all said, what can't you say about him? Humble kid. We had him on our podcast some weeks ago. A very humble kid. But the crazy thing is, I still don't feel like he's fully got into what he's capable of. Like I feel like right now he's ready to let that beast out right now. He's just feeling himself right now. And I like that about him. His confidence is getting even higher now. You know what I mean? Last year, he was injured, and still played through a lot of those games. And there was games that, his father told me that he shouldn't have even played in, but he was in there playing because he was just that much of a competitor, and it was against Lunston. He was injured in that game. He had an ankle injury, I think 2 weeks before that. I think he got a hamstring in that game as well. So he was not even playing well. He was like 2 inches from getting 2 touchdowns. So very, very competitive guy, you know, gonna go out there, had the length, got the speed, and now he's about to add that confidence on top of that. You see it. You've seen it at the Rock King game, man. And me and Bacon was there, Rock King's event, Friday Night Lights. Easily, nobody. It was consensus. Nobody's even. It wasn't even no bias, man. It was literally he was the best person out there. So that's why he won MVP on that. He's gonna be a rising star in the rankings, and you know he said in our interview with him that he wants to be number one. He's not looking at number two. So right now he's number two on our list. He's not looking. I know he's gonna see this. And he's gonna be like, "Nah, I should be number one." And that's what he wants. He wants number one in the country, not number one in Georgia. Not number one at his school, number one in the country, and that's what he's going for, him and his dad. So I like that. I like that about him. Go ahead, Bacon.
Yeah, I mean, y'all pretty much said it all. I'm gonna just say it's true like this, man. Most feared wide receiver, not in the state, but in the country, man. I don't think any DB wants to go up against this, man. You just look at him, man. You know what I'm saying? You see that? You no face. What is it? No face? I can't remember what they said, man. No face something, but you know what I'm saying? Just scary, man. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to guard him, man. I'm saying maybe my prime. I just we could have won though.
Yes, there you go. All right, let's get to our number one. Can we get a drum roll? Yeah. Number one player in Georgia.
Yeah, number one, I think it goes without saying, man. Again, he is what makes Grayson spectacular. He's what makes them go. I think he's what makes them who they are. You know, him and Anthony Davis, man, that linebacking core are going to be off the chain this year, man. Them, and then they still got Jalen Bell. You still got Andre Fuller, who committed to Georgia Tech. You still got Josiah Victor. It's going to be off the chain for Grayson, and without a doubt. But yeah, Tyler, 197 tackles. Again, what can you not ask him to do? I think what stood out to me, though, Dukes, was what he did at the Under Armour camp. He was doing linebacker reps, then went and did defensive line reps, and pretty much dominated both. Like, where do you see that at a middle linebacker doing something like that? So I think that goes without question, man, and that's why he's number one on our list. He could do pretty much any position you ask him.
Man, I saw him at Under Armour camp in 2022. It was at Denmark High School that year, and I think it was spring 2022, and he was still, I don't even think he was in 9th grade yet. And man, when I tell you he was whooping 16 and 17-year-olds, then I got it on my phone. Like, I just recorded it, not even knowing who he was. I'm like, hey, bro, this dude is going crazy. And this is when I'm first getting into it in the Georgia scene as far as understanding who's who. And then the guy was just like, hey, bro, you know, he ain't even in high school yet. I'm like, what? They let him go with those guys. And ever since then, he's done nothing but develop. When you look at what he was able to do against the top-rated offensive tackles in the state last year, I mean, no disrespect to Daniel Calhoun, but he definitely gave him everything that he wanted. And he did that multiple times. Everybody who you lined up against him had a long day against Tyler Atkinson, especially when it came to rushing the passer. And being able to have a guy, he kind of reminds me of Harold Perkins at LSU, where wherever you put him at, he can dominate. He can put his hand in the dirt, rush the passer. A lot of people in the SEC were happy that LSU stood Harold Perkins up because they knew that they had to block him a little bit less on passing downs. So he's one of those guys that maybe you stand him up for 2 downs, and then on 3rd down, you send him after the passer. He's going to be successful. And right now, he's probably one of the higher. I mean, when you look at this top 3, I mean, all 3 of those guys could potentially be number 1 in their class. I think people are a little bit lower on him nationally than they should be when it comes to the Big 4 ranking sites. But you guys got him in a perfect spot. If I had to bet money, he's one of the guys that I would bet on as far as panning out and his status, basically cashing in on his status.
Yeah, man, I had a very similar crossing that Duke had with Tyler, man. I went to one of their spring games like 2 years ago, and I'm going there to see Colin Fox. And you know, Colin Fox, you know, big tight end, you know, went to UCF, and I'm just seeing, like, I'm watching, I'm waiting for, you know, Colin to do something. I'm just like, man, who's this guy to keep covering him? Like, he's doing really well, and like he's out there barking and, you know, telling the defense where to go and this and that, and like, I'm like, Coach, who's this kid? And he's like, yeah, that's Tyler. He's a freshman. I'm like, excuse me? He's like, yeah, that's our freshman. And he's gonna be a dog. I'm like, Yeah, like yo, like Colin Fox. No, Colin Fox is a dog, but he had respect for this kid, and this kid had respect early. He had a lot of leadership early on the team, and you could see it, man. I was just like, I'm just so impressed with what he did, and not only just physically, can do everything. He kind of remind me of what's his name? Dang, I forgot his name. I'm gonna get to you in a second. But this kid is versatile. He can cover tight ends. He can blitz. He can tackle. He can got the vision. All that, man. He got everything. That's not a lot of stuff that he can't do. It's really not, and he can even still get better, man. He's going into his junior year, bro. I can't wait to see what he do, man. I know he's gonna get faster, and he's gonna get bigger. He's gonna just dominate, man. So he got a lot of potential behind him, and that's why I got him at number 1. Bigger.
Yeah, rightfully so. At number 1, I haven't watched Tyler too close. I've seen his film. Amari Latimer running back. It's him, most definitely, my man. Most definitely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's definitely him, man. First time seeing him in person was at the Under Armour camp. When you come in and just win rep after rep, line up, and they got to tell you not to line up. That told me all I need to know right there, man. That, you know what I'm saying? That he was him. He, you know what I'm saying? He is who he says he is, and everyone else, man. So that's why we got him in number 1 spot, baby. Yes, sir.
Now, Duke, we gotta ask you, man, to go through the list. Now, give us a rating. You know what I'm saying? You can be honest though. We want you to be your authentic self. You know what I'm saying? That's what you honestly think about our top 26. What would you change? What players would you move around? What players are missing from the list as well?
Man, this I'd say based on it's gonna be hard for me to say because I haven't watched enough of the 26s yet. Basically, like my job basically is kind of basically stick with the 25s. But from the ones that I've seen, I think you guys there wasn't a guy on that list that I didn't think that I thought didn't belong. Now, when it comes down to nuances of do you take a certain number? Do you make a position list? Do you take a certain number of each position? Those are the type of things that kind of adjust the list. But when you talk about every guy on that list being able to be a top 5 guy, absolutely, especially this early in their development. So and just to be honest, when you do these rankings this early, some of these guys aren't going to grow. And there's some guys that aren't on this list that are going to get even taller. They're going to get even bigger. So at the end of the day, I forgot about Nasir. NASCAR, too cold. That's what I'm saying. It's like so many guys on this list. So as you guys go back in and you kind of readjust and you say, all right, who should have been there, who shouldn't? I think the season is going to tell you how good this list was. So when you guys should keep this list, go back and revisit it and look at the season and say, okay, is this a potential list of where everybody's going to be when it's time to go to college? Or is this a list after last year? And those are two totally different things. So once you guys just kind of figure out exactly what that list is, I think you did a great job, honestly, because this is a thankless job. Because somebody's going to be, no matter how many lists you do, somebody's going to be 27. If you made it 25, somebody would have been 26. If you made it 30, somebody would have made it 31. So at the end of the day, it's like it's a thankless job, and you did shine a light on a lot of guys. And so now it's for the guys who didn't make the list, for them to go so much more crazy. It's almost like when they didn't put me as a national guy 24/7. I went crazy and started to do stuff that nobody else was doing to make them push me to the forefront because I knew I was a national guy before they knew. And it's the same thing to any player that's watching this or any parent before we go to the, they ain't hating, they don't know yet. It's your job and that player's job to go prove it and do it in such a loud fashion that it's undeniable. And that's the same advice that I took in order to kind of push myself in my career. And I think that it's something that these lists are necessary. They're necessary because it validates the guys that are on there, one, but two, it motivates the guys who aren't. And I think you guys did a great job.
I love it. Love it. I have a question for you, Duke, because one thing I noticed about this is a position that, right now the NFL does not value it, but we have a lot of them, which is linebackers. We have a lot of linebackers on this list. What's your take on, the fact that we have so many linebackers and that, maybe this is there like a transition to get linebackers back out there?
I think linebackers go as tight ends and running backs go. So the more athletic and the more running backs you see drafted higher, the more linebackers you'll see drafted higher because you're going to have to counteract that function. The same thing with tight ends. When you see more tight ends drafted higher, you'll see more off-ball linebackers go. And it may not be the same draft, but those positions, DJ Board, yeah, that's right, for sure. Hey, but on some real talk, when you talk about having guys who aren't liabilities in coverage, and I think these guys that you guys selected all can play in coverage. And I think that's the most important thing when you're talking about a first-round linebacker. When you look at guys like the last first-round linebacker that you had in the NFL, off-ball linebacker was Jack Campbell. He was a 6'5", 260-pound tackling machine that ran a 4.65 40. That's low-key insane. This year, when you look at a guy like Edge Cooper, who had 8 sacks at Texas A&M, ran a 4.5 40. Peyton Wilson at NC State, 4.5 40. You're looking at guys who have the speed and the ability and the agility to be functional pieces of a passing defense. And I think that's why the linebackers that you guys selected were validated by your selections.
I like it. Yeah, those boys are definitely going crazy.
Go ahead, Sierra Copeland go crazy. Not for real.
I like it. You guys got any other question for Duke?
Go ahead, Bacon. I think you got one.
Did you play ball back in high school, brother?
Yeah, man. So I started out so I played middle school, then at St. Pius actually, and then I went to Tri-Cities, and then in 10th grade I quit and started hustling. And but I was always one of those neighborhood guys. They were just like, all right, Duke. Like my senior year, they was like, hey, Duke, come play, please. Like not begging, but just like, hey man, shit, we need a body. Like, come on, Duke. And even when I got to school, like at Auburn, man, like I used to work out with the squad, so it was always just a thing where I was never able to harness myself as far as, bro, you want to be a smart guy, you're gonna be a hood guy, you're gonna be a street guy. And if I could get some of those years back, I wish I could, just to be able to. And that's why I go so hard on my son. Like, and a lot of times they say you're living through your son, but it's not that. It's the fact that I don't want him to miss out on the same opportunities I did because I wanted to live a faster life. And so now that everything's come full circle, I'm just glad to be able to share some of the knowledge of my experiences with the next generation.
Most definitely. And then what's the biggest thing? What have you learned about yourself that you didn't know since tapping into the journalism scene?
Right, man, I can do anything.
Right.
Like I don't even mean that no kind of way, bro. Like I ain't got no journalism degree. I wasn't doing none of the stuff that I was supposed. I didn't do nothing I was supposed to do to get to where I am, bro. And so as long and the reason I can do anything is because I got faith and I believe in God. Like, man, you can tell, man, 24/7. I say this. They told me I would never make a certain amount of money in this industry, and there was the amount of money that I was making. And I literally 2 months after they told me I wasn't gonna make that type of money, I damn near doubled it. So it was like, bro, you can't tell, bro, how you gonna tell God? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell God what He got for me. And that's just kind of what I'm on. That's how I live. So if I learned anything, like faith is real, God is real, and man, whatever anybody says, bro, man can say what they want to say, man. The proof in the pudding, and God is the author of my story. So that's what I'm on. So I basically, like, when I say I can do anything, what I learned, bro, y'all didn't know me 2 years ago. I ain't had nothing to do with nothing. I just popped out. They think I'm an industry plant. Like, been like, where did dude come from? So, nah, man, and all glory be to God, man. So that's really, man, you can do, and I share that with anybody, even the parents that are watching this. If you have a passion or you're passionate about something that you feel like, you're more happy doing, so, man, start doing the part-time so you can make it full-time. And I say that to anybody.
Dude, what position you played, man?
Running back and safety.
All right. I can see it. You got the DB vibes about you, bro. Like us DBs, we can see each other. You hear?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely, man. Yeah, definitely.
My one question to you, Dude. I know we probably let you get out of here. What would you just tell young journalists like ourselves? If you could give advice, I spoke to you a couple of times, but just for our audience that is watching, that let's say for example they got aspirations, they want to be a national host, like kind of how you wanted to do. They want to be on that scale. Obviously, everybody's path is different. Some people gonna get there faster, some people get there slower. Everybody got their own path. But what would you tell them in order to kind of get to where you are today?
Man, if I could say anything, man, like is pray and then be intentional with your prayer and put some works behind your faith. So I didn't just pray and then just went to and went to my 9 to 5 and then just did that. Now I prayed, went to my 9 to 5, and then I went to my 5 to 9, which was doing this. So for every 8 hours I gave them folks, I gave my passion for. And yeah, it was hard, and you have to have the right setup. You have to have the people that believe in you. Like, and sometimes they don't believe in you at front. But you got to believe in you, and you got to believe that what comes out of your mouth is going to be law if God agrees. So when I said I was going to do something, like I ain't finished. Like we was talking about ahead of time, I was like, bro, I got stuff to do, bro. I'm finna go crazy. And I feel like that, and I think that energy comes off of me, and people accept it. Like, hey man, it's something up with bro. Like I walk around like I'm lost, but I'm not. I'm not. And so if I had any advice to you guys, a young journalist, is believe in what you believe in and believe in yourself. I know it sounds cliche, but don't just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and put the work behind it. And you got to understand that there's something like I got on for real because I was able to accomplish something that nobody else could do at that time. So keep looking for that niche and find out what makes you what separates you from the pack. And once you find that out and you magnify it, I think there's nothing that nobody can do. And what I really want to do is to run this bread up so we don't have to ask nobody to give us no national platform.
There you go. There you go. Bro, I'm about to run through a wall. Like this wall about to have a big old hole in it right now. I'm about to run right through it. that was incredible. Appreciate that, man.
No, so
definitely. Well, that's gonna do it for us with you, Duke, man. I appreciate you getting on. Appreciate you evaluating our list. We would love to have you on a couple of other times in the future, man. I want to see if these guys got any closing words that they want to say before you get off as well.
Nah, my only thing, dude, you know how I feel, man, and the stuff that you do. Anytime you throw something out, I don't know if you noticed, but I always retweet your stuff, always like it. It's just nice, man, to see. And I tell the brothers all the time, it's nice to see a brother, somebody black, somebody in my complexion just doing great things, man. So I don't know if you know, man, but you an inspiration. Like I be like, yo, I got to keep grinding, keep going. I tell them all the time, man. So it's just nice to see what you're doing, being on that platform, and you're doing good stuff behind it, man, telling these kids stories and taking a different angle. You're not doing the same angle that everybody else does. So just want to say, man, you're really a inspiration, man, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. You definitely impacting the youth, man, and impacting journalists in the game.
Man, I appreciate it, man. That's good to know, man. That just put me on my own list, man. I appreciate it, my boy.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Nah, for sure, brother. We appreciate you, man. Especially, it's always good to see a brother doing it big from the South Side, you know?
Hey, man, South Side to the death of me. Believe it. Washington Road, Janet Drive, came a long way.
Yes, sir, man. Before we let you go, man, go ahead and plug the 5 Star Podcast. Let the people know where you're at, when you're on, all that good stuff, man.
Man, check me out on the 5 Star Flex on our YouTube channel. It's on On3. It's on On3 Recruits YouTube, but you can just Google or YouTube 5 Star Flex with Phillip Dukes. I'm interviewing the top players in the country, and now I'm starting to give my analysis on schools and universities that recruit and why they're successful or what they need to do to be successful. If you want to be featured on the 5 Star Flex, hit me on Twitter at DukesDScoop or hit me on Instagram at DukesDScoop. I check out, and I'm going to tell everybody this, all the kids that's watching the recruits, I don't got nothing to do with the rankings. But if you send me your film and you want my opinion, I'm going to watch it. It might take me a week, but I'm going to watch it and I'll give you some positive feedback from what I do know. So, hey, man, I appreciate it, guys, and thank you again for having me. What's up, bro?
All right, man. There you go, man. Appreciate Dukes coming on, man. A busy guy. Just appreciate him coming on, man, just to share the knowledge. And as you guys can see, the knowledge standpoint is different. He was be able to break down those players and talk about all facets of their game in a very knowledgeable, very insightful way. So we hope you guys appreciate the list. Again, we do have a honorable mention list. Those guys which I kept mentioning, Jalen Copeland, Nasir McCoy, a lot of those guys made that list. We just have to redo it. There was a couple 25s in there, but we're not sleeping on y'all. That's why we do an honorables mention, because we was thinking about y'all. Y'all caught our eye, but you was just right outside that top 26, man, but we still think y'all are special. So we hope y'all enjoyed the list. Appreciate all the people that tuned into my YouTube channel. I know mine was going crazy. I had up to 15, 20 people watching on the YouTube. I only got 400 followers, so that definitely means a lot, man. But I'll throw it to y'all before we move on.
Yeah, man, we got 85 right now in the the total right now. So appreciate everyone right now watching this and checking us out for sure. Let's talk about real quick recap of the 2026 list, man. I think it was a great list. I think that we had some differences here and there. I think for the top three, all three of us pretty much had the same guys. I don't think it was had anything different outside of the three. Once we got out of the top three, it moved a little bit here and there. We had to do some debating. What you guys thought of how it kind of went down? Obviously, this is a consensus list, so that means all three of us made our own list, and then we came together and tried to come up with a list that was consensus. So, what you guys think of the list yourselves?
Yeah, I think it was good. I think we evaluated everything. I think we looked at all facets of it. And I think we really tried to get a consensus of what all three of us thought. Bacon had some really good players that he plugged in, that he put us on game with. Cortez Redding, again, I got to do my research on him. But Jerome, you had a couple in there that you felt high on. I know some didn't make the list that you were real high on. Some of the ones I put y'all on game with. So I think it was good because our list, and it's one's purpose service announcement I want to make, and I'm going to throw it back to y'all. Our list is not like everybody else, okay? Our list is not like an On3. Our list is not like a 247 or a Rivals or ESPN, right? We go and we find gems. This is not a list that's, oh, okay, this guy projects to be this on the next over. This guy projects to be a first-round pick. No, our list is what you're doing in high school, right, and how high you're performing and what level you're performing. And if we think you're an underrated guy that people are sleeping on, we're going to give you the exposure, get you out there. So people are like, oh, why is this guy so high on the list? Who the hell are you talking about? It's for those reasons. That's what's behind our list for those that are wondering, want to know.
Nah, for sure. Picking back up what the brother said, man, we don't just go through On3 and 247 kind of I still got him here. Now we kind of create our own list, man. I'm saying we're boots on the ground guys, a little bit everywhere. Now I'm saying except on the north side, drum on the north side, opposite side, and I'm down here on the south side, kind of cultivating it. So I'm saying it's what we see. It's a wide variety. So I think I'm saying I feel like we did a solid job, man. You know what I'm saying? We just
appreciate you, man.
Do what we do. Yes, sir. We appreciate you, brother, for tuning in, man. Yeah, we do what we do, man. I think we did a good job, man. Of course, you know what I'm saying, some people say we hit and miss somewhere, but like I said, we call it as we see it,
Yeah,
man.
and with these consensus, there's going to be guys that these two guys had on there and I didn't, and vice versa. There was a couple of guys that were mentioned in the comments. I'm like, yeah, I felt like they should have been in the top 25. But again, this is a consensus. This is all three of us. This is some things that we all kind of seen. It was. I mean, when I tell you, I said this in the beginning. When I tell you this was tough, this was tough. The 2025 was easier. I'm not gonna say that wasn't hard. That was hard too. But this 2026 is that. So it was hard for us to even have people off of it and people in the honorable mentions that it was just like, man, you wanted to fit them in there so bad. I'm telling you. So don't feel like down about yourself if you wasn't on this list, or it's all love. It's all love. We want to see everybody do good, but at the end of the day, it was just 26. It's 26, and it's hard to do in a state of 8 million people.
Man, come on.
Oh yeah, so yeah, making a list of 26 in a whole state of Georgia. That was definitely a tough deal to do. But I hope this list helped some guys realize, like, man, I'm a gem. I'm gonna put my name out there. I'm gonna get myself out there and show them, hey, I belong in this list. So, and that's the part I'm most excited about. I really am.
We appreciate y'all calling us out, though, man. Keep us, what I'm saying?
Call it how you love it. Love it. Keep it coming. We appreciate it. Be honest. That's all we need. All right, let's get to our next topic, guys.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead, Jerome.
So Friday Night Lights, man, and this was my third one. This is Route King's showcase, and it's in Douglasville. He does a great job of this every year. He puts a lot of kids on. I believe this is the camp that really helped Inside the Hashes out. This is the camp where we got to see kids like Mike Matthews and Jalen Crawford and all those high top players. They was all at this camp, man. They was all at this camp. The first one, they was all at this camp. and they wasn't like highly regarded players like they are now. You get what I'm saying? So this was a huge exposure camp. He brings King is, you know, I think at least one of the best wide receiver coaches in the country, man. He trains NFL players. He just went over in London with Tyreek Hill, training him. You know, big names like that, AJ Terrell. You know, all those players, man. He brings all those players out. So, huge event. You know, media was out there. Great vibes. You know what I mean? Like some of these camps be kind of like stale and. You know, all right, cool. It's kind of stale, but hey, you know, we can. Nah, these kids was out there balling. Like, you know, it was back and forth, and it wasn't like no a situation where things got a little out of hand and you know it was fighting. No, these kids was scrapping, but at the same time, it was respect out there, and I loved it. And that all goes to Rock King, man. Alex Hilton, Alexander Hilton. One of the coaches at Douglas County, man. I can't say too much. I can't say enough about him, man. He's a great guy. Really care about the kids. Some of these guys just go out there just to collect the money. He's not like that. He wants this guy to ball, man. And you know, he really brings out the best side of him. So obviously, Aaron Gregory's a very talented guy, but even he will say like, you know, Route King helped me out, you know, and be able to have a connection with great coaches helped him out. So I can't say enough about that camp, man. I hope everybody in journalism definitely go. If you can't make it this year, try to make it next year. It's always on the top of my list. That's one of the camps that you just drop everything for, bro. He could tell me he's gonna have another camp tomorrow. I'm like, all right, I'm there. You know, so Bacon, your first experience being there. I want to know how you thought about it and what's your thoughts.
Yeah, 10 out of 10, man. If you're heavy on the basketball scene, I would compare it to Tip Off Classic. You know, cameras is out. Every media outlet was out 24/7. Rivals On3, Sports Illustrated. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely a spectacle.
Under the radar.
Under the radar. Oh my goodness! Under the radar was out there, man. He came out and showed love, man. First time I was seeing, I was like, man, what? But you know what I'm saying? It was definitely big time. If you want exposure, if you're a recruit or athlete who wants to just see what it feels like, you know what I'm saying? You may come out to get ruffled up, but that's where you become stronger in the fire. So if you're trying to get better, if you want to get the looks, that's where you need to be at. Friday Night Lights, Rock King annual event. So next time, make sure you're out there, brother. Top flight, man. You know what I'm saying? I was highly impressed with what was going on, man. For sure. Definitely will be back.
Definitely. Now, from an outside perspective, you're seeing everything that went on. What's your thoughts on the camp?
I'm not sure. I can't say too much. I wasn't there, but I seen definitely the exposure was there for the kids. I seen a couple kids kind of blew up. Tristan Payne was one of them from Milton. That was kind of my big question, kind of being able to see, you know, who Milton was going to have at number 2, right? Because they don't have DeBron Gatlin anymore. Mark Esley obviously graduated at Valdosta State now. Who was going to be their number 2? And he went in there and he showed out from what I heard and what I saw on the Twitter sphere on X. So, like you said, back to your point about the whole event, I guess it does a good job of just giving these kids exposure and allowing them to do their thing and putting people on notice, man. So, yeah, that's what I would say on the outsider perspective.
Yeah, and it's definitely different talent levels. Like, you're not just getting the 5 stars, you know, 4 stars, all those guys, but you're getting, you know, guys that don't even have stars. You got guys that low rankings and going out there and competing. And there was a lot of guys that went against some of these 4 stars, 5 stars, and really put a name out there for themselves. So that's what I like about, you know, how Rock King does it. Like, he's not just gonna put anybody out there just for, you know, the clout or, you know, this or that. He's gonna bring out gems. He's gonna bring out gems and let them gems shine while they're out there because they're able to go against, you know, more established players, you know, you get what I'm saying? So, again, I love the event, you know, going for a 4th time, going for a 5th time, going for a 6th time. Whenever he has one, I'm definitely going. He knows that. And, man, I love that event. I love it. I just love it.
For sure. What was your favorite part of the event?
Favorite part of the event was always the one-on-ones, man. That's always the best part of the event. You know, when they go one-on-one and all the hype, you know, seeing all the coaching. Oh, that's another part I didn't say, man. They got top flight coaching in there. You know, Coach Pope was out there. You had Route Master out there. You had a couple of other guys. Just blanking on the names right now. But you got top flight coaches, man, in Georgia that's going to be in there. So, you know, it's not just, you know, Route King himself. He's gonna bring the masses. He's gonna bring the masses, and it was definitely a great event, man. And you know, Alex was out there. You know, Coach Emil was out there. You know, it's everybody's out there. So it was a great event. It was a great event. What about you, Nod? I mean, Bacon. I'm gonna throw that question right back at you.
You got favorite thing of the event had to be the one-on-one specifically. Man, I mean, it's gonna sound cliche, but I think when Aaron he caught that the head top back left pylon facing the end zone we were going towards, did his thing, blew the kisses to the camera.
Yeah,
that moment will be forever etched to my memory. You know what I'm saying? Probably until you know what I'm saying, leave this world, rest in peace. But yeah, probably that one. Oh no, that one. I put that at number 2. Number 1 was the offers. You know what I'm saying? The offers that was given out, man. Anytime at the event came full circle, man. You got better with reps. You got better in the one-on-ones. Then handed out offers, man. So anytime you can do that, man, change people's lives. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and there was guys that didn't have no offers at all. Got some offers from that camp, and I seen that a couple of years ago where the same thing where kids start getting offers, and then all of a sudden offers just start flowing in from that camp. So again, man, Rock King really puts out a good product, man. And, I think it's a must-see TV when you're out there for sure.
Thanks. We got to figure out a way to stream that bad boy live, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, yo, for real. Maybe we can be the ones to start that.
Nah, for sure.
Let's do it.
For sure,
all
man.
Right.
My bad, John. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was gonna start it out, but go ahead. You can do it.
For sure, ladies and gentlemen. The way that concludes our, I believe it's the gridiron section. We for the transition to the 3-man weave. And today we got a little news, man. Things got a little hectic in the basketball world. They're not too crazy, but you know, Christian Anderson, Kyle Green, and Micah Smith, and Nyla Brooks, all 4 decommit from their committed offers. So Christian Anderson was committed to Michigan, as we know. Michigan struggled this year. Not sure the reason why he decommitted, but he decommitted. And Najee can help me out with this one. Kyle Green, he decommitted from UCF. Am I right or wrong?
You are right.
And Micah Smith decommitted from JMU. Nyla Brooks, number 13, ranked in class 25. Female hooper decommitted from Tennessee, man. So, Naj, I'm going to pass it to you, man. Which one of these 4 were more shocking?
I think for me, probably Kyle Green. Just because I know he's raved about the university, liking the direction they were going. And he just seemed like he was a good fit for their program. Christian Anderson makes sense because Michigan fired their head coach, Juwan Howard. So new head coach, usually that's going to mean recruits are going to leave. They don't really go to get coached by the coach that's there. They don't go for necessarily the program. They go to get trained, get developed, learn from a great. Same thing with Micah Smith. Had a really good relationship with JMU. He took the job somewhere else. So, I mean, that makes sense. Originally going in, you got recruited by a certain coach. You expected to be coached by that coach when you go off to school. So those two to me made the most sense for why they decommitted. Kyle Green was more of a surprise.
Most definitely. I'm gonna read what Nyla said about her reason for decommitment. After thoughts of consideration and discussion with my family, I want to express my gratitude to the Lady Vols Nation considering me for the team. Being considered by such a prestigious program is an honor, and I thank God for that. However, I've decided to keep my options open. Given the recent events, I am reopening my recruitment. I haven't ruled out Tennessee as a student athlete. I feel it's important to explore other opportunities for my future. I appreciate the support of the coaching staff and everyone involved with the Lady Vols Nation. Hopefully, I have the chance to visit Knoxville officially in the future. Excited for what lies ahead. Future recruiting contact, please contact me. Please contact my high school head coach, Keisha Walton. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's tough with Harper being out, getting fired. You know, it's interesting. I mean, obviously, she's had high-end talent. Raquel Williams, obviously, going to be a lottery pick in the WNBA draft. But I think it's tough because, like, Pat Summitt, to me, it seemed like she had a little bit of a longer reach, kind of like she was able to kind of figure it out. I feel like they cut ties a little bit too early. Like, she didn't win her first championship, I think, 12 years in, maybe, you know, and that coach has a better winning record at that time. If you look at both of their careers and compare, obviously she's no Pat Summitt, but I think sometimes you gotta let the coach grow and get into her own. So, you know, I think it's tough. Obviously they're gonna move on, but I think they should let her, you know, kind of figure it out another couple of years, and then by like year 8, if it's nothing, the same thing, then I would have moved on. But I think they was trending in the right direction.
But they made it to the Sweet 16 this year.
Yeah, they nearly should have beat, if you make the argument, South Carolina in the SEC championship game.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know,
semis.
For whatever reason, that's just the name of the business, man. You know, so here today, gone tomorrow. That's why you got to make every moment count, like we've been saying, like we said earlier. And then we'll transition to the latest On3 top 25 rankings. I'm gonna get this thing pulled up.
Man, you gotta get it ready before we get to the topic, man.
It's already ready, brother. It's already ready.
Is it?
Man. You don't see it? Check your Wi-Fi, brother. Nah, it's not ready.
It's not my Wi-Fi. It's not my Wi-Fi.
Apologies. On3.
That's my Wi-Fi is doing all this, by the way.
You said what, brother?
Said my Wi-Fi is doing all this, huh?
Hey, man, you know, we are here, ladies and gentlemen. So we got at number 1, Cam Boozer, Darren Peterson, Caleb Wilson at 4, Pete at 5, Malik Thomas at 6, Darius Acuff at 7, Isaiah Harwell at 8, Bryson Tiller at 9, Jalen Harrelson at 10, Jasper Johnson at 11, Trey McKinney at 12, Michael Brown at 13, Braden Burries at 14, Nate Ament at 15, Caden Boozer at 16, Mustafa Thiem at 17, Jameer Jones at 18, Florida boy, Will Riley at 19, and Darius Adams at 20. We'll stop at 20, man. The list looks like it's pretty much the same. The list is kind of coming into form, man. You know, these guys are becoming seniors after this spring. So, you know, I think we may see a little movement, you know what I'm saying, depending on how the summer goes, spring and summer goes. But for the most part, I think this is pretty much concrete. I think Jasper's probably a solid. He may bump up a couple spots, but I like Jasper at 11. It's gonna be interesting to see. Well, let me ask y'all this, man. It's been some flip flop from Cam Boozer from being the 1 to 2 spot. AJ is now the 1 spot. I think he's been the 1 spot now for probably going on maybe 5 or 6 months, 4 or 5 months. Do we think that AJ will be the number 1 prospect for 2025? Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't think there's really no question. I think he's going to stay there unless barring a catastrophic injury. I think he's the best player in that class in the country. Can do a little bit of everything. He has good size, good length, good width. Probably is going to project to get a little bit more bulkier, probably when he gets on the college level. But yeah, I think he's unquestionably the top player.
Offensively, though, right? Offensive bag alone, I just think he's a little more versatile than Cam, which is why I believe they give him the nod. Defensively, how do you feel, Nash?
Yeah, I mean, defensively, I mean, I feel like you can always improve defensively, but I feel like he can definitely guard with his weight, his size. I mean, he's athletic. I think he could guard probably 1 through 4 if he really wanted to. You know what I'm saying? And I think he has good potential. I think it's just a matter of AJ being a little challenged. That's all. Not challenged like he can't do it, but challenged in a way like he continues to go up against the top talent. But when he does, he always holds his own. So that's why I think he's top. I think the ratings are old, bro. I think it goes to the new ones because they got Tyler Jordan, number 17 in the country. Word. I'm gonna actually send a link to you through the chat.
All right, bet.
Yeah. Yes, and I think Bryson Tiller's a little too low, in my opinion.
Why do you think so?
I think his game has improved. I think from the last time we seen him at tip-off, I think he can pretty much do anything you need him to do offensively. 3-level scorer, can create offense not for just himself but for others. In the clutch, he can take and make big-time shots. He's a playmaker. He can defend at a high level. I think he should be higher than what he is.
I think that's the same list, Notch. I'm looking at it myself too.
But yeah, that was from their Twitter. Sometimes they don't have.
No. Here we go.
Okay.
Tyler Jordan.
Yeah, you see him?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got him 17 in the country. Highest one. The one you had, they didn't even have him on there or that high.
I believe he's playing with Game Elite this year. Actually, I think I know. I'm certain he's playing with Game Elite this year.
Was that Nike or Adidas?
That is Adidas. 3SB.
Oh, okay, so he's on 3SB.
And I believe, I'm sure he'll be at the Tip-Off Classic this weekend. But we're gonna talk about Caleb Wilson. Actually, let's talk about Caleb Wilson and Tyler Jordan, man. Let's compare the two. I think Caleb Wilson is the overall better player. Tyler's, I believe, is gonna have a big. He's gonna shoot up this board come in probably. You know what I'm saying? We're in April right now. Probably around June. He'll probably shoot up this board. Probably around definitely. And around the 10 spot, you know what I'm saying, a little long, wiry, similar to Caleb, long, wiry, high motor, knocks down tough buckets. It's got some upside on the defensive end. The shot making ability is one I want to have to see. Caleb Wilson is gonna hit a lot of tough buckets, but it's gonna be interesting to see how he fares, man. What you think, Nash?
Yeah, I think that the nod goes to Wilson. At the moment as the top player in the state of Georgia. I think Tyler can definitely do that. I think as far as just leap and bounds, I feel like he did that for himself last summer, going from pretty much unranked to ranked, coming into the season as a 4-star and having a whole bunch of recruiting service that, on him. So I think he's taking probably the biggest leap that you're going to see him take, not far as his skill level or his talent, but in terms of ratings, I think so. But yeah, I mean, same thing. I think offense comes a little bit easier for Caleb Wilson. Not saying it doesn't for Tyler, but I want to see kind of how he develops. Obviously, he can slash, get to the rim, dunk on people. He's a good offensive rebounder, defends at a high level, block shots, can guard your best perimeter defender, and also can lock down the paint. But I just want to see kind of just what creativity he has shot making wise, because he with his size, he can project as a he's obviously a power 4, 6'9". You just don't want to project as a only offensive rebounding type of big and then defending. Like, I think if he can add a little bit, things to his skill, he has a nice handle. If he adds some extra things to the repertoire, I think he has a bright future. So I think that's the only thing that stands in him being probably a star on the next level, is just seeing if he can create that offense that Caleb can do. No matter who's guarding him, he can go get himself a bucket.
Facts. I've heard some similarities between Tyler and Ace's game. Obviously, being 6'9", I believe he has a little post game as well. like I said, it remains to be seen. I got this weekend. If I go to the class, it'll be the first time I've seen him in person. I know Nas, you seen him in person at the Double Trouble event.
Yes, I did, and he was hooping.
Now we got to talk about a little bit about the offers, man. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. We see AJ with the he's the guy that On3 that got him leaning towards the Auburn. Caleb Wilson leaning towards Auburn. If they solidify those two right there, man, I think it's gonna be tough to beat them, man. Having two big wings like that, man, who can do it all.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. I mean, I definitely agree. You got two that can do it all. I mean, obviously they always going to get, they're going to always get kind of the looks and stuff like that. But it's just all about what you could do in the tournament. Obviously, like we said, we talked about adaptability. Can Auburn, can Kentucky adapt a little bit and getting that veteran talent, but then bringing in these guys like this and have them ready to play year one. Not necessarily being a starter, not necessarily being elite, but being able to come in and contribute. I think that's the biggest thing.
Most definitely. That being said, we will transition to the next topic for the 3-man weave. Recruiting the elite, reacting to the Elite 8 women's matchups, men's and women's. I think it's only right we start with the women's first, having a lot of the magnitude. Last night, we saw LSU get upset by. We gonna say upset. We'll say got beat by Iowa at preceding game. USC. They fell to Paige Buckers and company to UConn. Got to start with LSU first, man. I'll say this and I'll pass it to you now. I feel like Coach Kim, man. I feel like she kind of, well, first and foremost, she let Caitlin Clark get too comfortable. We didn't see her we didn't see LSU start blitzing Caitlin until really a minute left on the clock. They should have blitzed her a lot more. You can't let her get comfortable. Well, she likes to go left. You can't let her go left and get to her spots. So that was a big takeaway for me. And you should have let. I mean, I ain't gonna say you should have let. I would have liked to see Flojo's nickname, Flage. Kind of, what I'm saying. For the most part of the season, she guarded the best offensive player, and we didn't see that last night for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can kind of overthink things in the heat of a moment. But I think, you don't think so?
Just not even a little bit.
Nah, she's got significantly quicker feet than Melis for sure.
Agree. Listen to me. I don't disagree with you. I 100% agree. The problem.
I know what you're about to say about Caitlin. I know. Did you see where the hell she was pulling up from?
I understand that, but if you bring a double team and extend that,
I'm not saying you're wrong, but to say that she was going to single-handedly stop her, no.
No.
It's a team effort. I agree with you. So what Coach Mulkey did wrong was she let Caitlin get comfortable early. Back to your point, right? You let her go to the rim and get an easy bucket. You let her see the ball go through the net. You let her get a couple and ones early. Then it's over. You know what I'm saying? It's a wrap. Yeah. So back to your point, yeah. But when you're doing your defense, think about this, Bacon. Obviously, with your astute knowledge that you got in basketball, you got to throw different defensive coverages, right? You can't just put the problem with Coach Mulkey. Even if you put Flage on her, Caitlin gonna figure that out. She's gonna figure out how to wait. It would have been tougher, but she still is gonna figure out a way to beat that. You have to, like you said, Bacon, make them feel uncomfortable. You got to throw different things: 2-3 zone, a 1-3-1, a 1-2, a 1-2-2. You got to throw different things. That's what made it so tough. That's what made Iowa so good, right? They usually run zone, but then they switch it up, throw different looks. Like I feel like that's what Coach Mulkey lacked at. It was one defender the whole time. Either it was going under the screen and she got hot, and after that, it was over. But back to your point, you got to throw different things. So you could have Flage on her most of the time. You could have threw Van Lith on her, like you said, blitzing her. Just throw her different looks so she don't feel comfortable. She don't never know what you're going to do. But I don't feel like she did that in the game. I think that's what she lacked. Now, Flage could have helped, but even if you would have did one-on-one, I think it would have still been the same outcome. Maybe not 41, but she still would have got a 30-piece.
30 pieces game is winnable.
I agree with you, Nudge. Sorry.
Go ahead, Drum.
I I was gonna say I agree with you, Naj. The only thing is, I agree with Bacon in a sense too. But like, you gotta put Flojay on her early. That was the thing because once you start getting enough flow, like you said, Naj, it'll make it tough. And I think if you would have put Flojay on her and then start mixing up the looks, that'd have been a different thing. But you can't let young girl, I forget her name, be on her almost the entire time, just cooking her the entire time. Like, bro, what are you doing? You gotta put your best player on your best players. And I think that was kind of a flawed game plan from the beginning. You gotta put your best on best and then start, after she start wearing down your best on best, then you start throwing things, different looks at her, and this and that. But like, you gotta be best on best, especially in the magnitude of this game. So
facts. I want to point out what's the freshman's name? Michaela Williams. I think that we should have seen a little bit more of her being a primary ball handler. You know what I'm saying? Run the offense, and I like Van Lith, and I know she'll be running the point for the whole time. But Michaela, I can't remember how many assists she had, but she, you know what I'm saying, she was 1-1. She was hitting more perimeter shots. The offense looked better, kind of flowing through her a little bit in the half court settings. And I believe Van Lith only had 3 assists. You gotta let things flow. You gotta kind of be able to read and react. I'm not sure what was going on in the huddles. Another thing, whenever Reese, whenever she went down the ankle injury, things changed there. Before then, it was kind of all guns blazing. But once that injury hit, things kind of went down south. And of course, then when she fouled out, that was kind of like the pin to the balloon. If you've been watching some of the YouTube videos, that was it, man. But nonetheless, shout out to Caitlin Clark. 41-12 is impressive, and it's gonna be interesting to see how they fare against UConn, man. So, kind of before we move on to the USC UConn, how do we feel about looking ahead to the LSU UConn game? Do we think that UConn has too much for Iowa for Iowa and company, or do we think they have a chance to go to the finals?
I think it all just depends the game plan. I talked about on my day show today. It depends. Now, it's no disrespect to Coach Kim Mulkey. She's obviously a great. She got four national championships, but we're talking about Gino Auriemma, right? We're talking about a legendary head coach. We're talking about considered the GOAT up until the recent era. We're talking about a coach that won 4 in a row, right? So he's going to know what to throw at you to make you feel uncomfortable. You're not going to have these same questions that you had today that you're asking about Coach Mulkey. You're not going to be asking that about Coach Auriemma, right? So I think you got a team that's hungry in UConn that felt like they were slept on. That's coming. Paige Booker, she's been hurt the last 2 years. Finally is healthy, and you're seeing what she's able to do is upped her average from 7 to 8 points to 28, averaging 20 in the season. So it's just going to depend on the players outside of Caitlin Clark. In that game, you go back to it, I give a lot of credit to O'Grady. Obviously, I know you said that Angel Reese got hurt with the ankle injury, but she was coming back and still was firing. But O'Grady, against her, she ended up going 6 to 8. She went 1 for 12 most of the rest of the game. Now, I'm not saying that's just her. Obviously, she was missing shots, but she played great defense. So I only bring it up to say other players are going to have to step up for Iowa. It cannot be the Caitlin Clark show, right? She got a lot of help in that game as well. 2 scores had 20 points as well. So you got to be able to get all ends in. If you're going to beat UConn, your players, Scheffler, all of them, they got to step up. They got to hit knockdown shots. Your big man, Sulky, she got to be able to hit easy things around the basket. You got to be able to make them pay because Clark's going to probably get double, and she's a stellar. She's a good passer, so she's going to find the open man. You got to be able to hit them shots.
Most definitely, as we seen last night when they had when they played against Juju, man, they definitely made it tough for her, blister at times. So I think that's what she's going to see, man. That's going to be on Iowa's coach to kind of get them prepared. But moving on, UConn versus USC. What's your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, I think back to what you said. I think they just had a good game plan. I mean, USC made some runs, but they had a good game plan against Juju. They were physical with her. Obviously, she felt like the whistle was not in her favor. She felt like there was a little more physical. She just got more fouls, but I felt like it was a great learning experience for Juju. But shout out to Paige, man. Paige was doing her thing, getting to her spots on the floor, and she showed the complete package in that game, hitting mid ranges, hitting the 3-point shot, facilitating for her teammates. I mean, she was doing everything that you needed her to do and be a leader for that team. So. Excuse me. I just think I think it was a great experience, and I think it lived up to the hype. Obviously, the score got a little bit out of hand at the end, but I thought Juju did all she could with her talent And I think she really put them back on the map, as I said early on in the show. I just think, you know, they have not been really like an elite program since Cheryl Miller. When you look at Final Fours, winning the national championship, and she has them back in that conversation.
Most definitely. I want to give a shout out to Forbes, man. She had a phenomenal. She had a phenomenal season, man. I know she kind of struggled from the field, went 8 for 22 along with Juju 9 for 25. But you know what I'm saying, to put up 24, 29 points in a game of that magnitude is impressive. The key to this game, obviously, Paige Buckers, but to me, the unsung hero, I believe, was Aaliyah Edwards. Really providing that low post presence for them, which are going to pay dividends next round against Iowa, because they don't really have a big, right? I believe she would. Let me see how tall she is real quick. 6'3", you know what I'm saying? That's a significant height, man. She's going to end in, how many rebounds she had? 6 rebounds, 1 block. That says it all right there, man. Just been able to be a chairman of the board, really control the low post interior, knock down free throws, 10 for 14, really get inside, draw fouls. I think she's going to be the key next round. But the key to this game was making other people for USC score outside of Forbes and Juju. Great players are going to get theirs when you can limit them to low 40s, high 30s, shooting from the floor. That's it, man. The numbers do not lie. So looking ahead, man, I think I'm going to take UConn in the championship, most likely going up against South Carolina. For the men's,
yeah, I'm going to go Iowa. Yeah, Iowa, South Carolina. I think we're going to get one of the best Final Fours we've seen in a while, just as far as that matchup. I think it's going to live up to the hype. I think it's going to be a back and forth affair, and I think they're going to be going back neck and neck.
You think, how many points you think Caitlin's going to get?
I think I'm gonna go over 30.
Over 30, 35, 31.
I'm gonna go over 30. Hard to say.
I'm gonna go. You good. I'm gonna split head with, like I said, I like UConn. I think Aaliyah Edwards is gonna be the key to their success, man. But anyway, transition to the men's. Let's start with I'm on the wrong one. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Real quick before we go to men's, what were your thoughts on Angel Reed's comment?
What was her comments, brother?
Did she say like? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Let me hear your point.
No, I thought she said something on the lines of we got out coached or something like that, right?
It definitely did.
Similar. No, she was like she was talking about like how she was human too, Bacon.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Socialized and you know, kind of how you know, she received death threats and stuff like that, and how she was crying at the end. Just what are your thoughts on that? That's from a black man perspective.
Man, it's no I mean, this has been going on since the beginning of in the integration of sports. Jackie Robinson, you can even bring up the great Bill Russell. Not many people know. When he was playing in Boston, he got death threats. Even broke into his home, defecated in his bed. So you know, it's unfortunate that these things keep reoccurring. But that's just what's come along with just being an African American or black person in sports. I feel like she was being very transparent. I commend her for saying that. It's just. You know, when it's also the double standard, man. Like if Caitlin Clark was doing, say Andrew Reese was quiet, right? Andrew and Caitlin Clark was doing this, you know what I'm saying, doing, you know what I'm saying. Obviously she did that.
She was though. That's the thing. She was
for sure, and that's the double standard.
Talking smack. Yeah, she was talking smack, and that's why Angel started doing it to her, because she seen that she was already talking smack. She was already, you know, doing the hand thing like that. That was Caitlin's thing before Angel did that. But then, and then I see what happened. I agree with what she's saying, and I could see that happen, because the backlash after that game, everybody was like, "She's a bully. This is that." I'm like, Caitlin was doing the same exact thing all season long, but nobody was saying nothing about it. So it is a double standard to it, and I do feel bad for her. I think she's very strong for, you know, putting up with it ever since. You know, obviously it sucks that she's mentioned it now after a loss. That part sucks, because now it's just like, oh, she's saying that because she's emotional and she just lost the game. Now it's kind of making it seem like she's just asking for the pity game. but like she was going through that since that game, you know. So like Twitter, I'm on Twitter a lot. Twitter was going crazy after that game. Like that's literally all you heard for like 3 days straight. So I don't disagree with her, and I don't think that, you know, I think that is what's happening, what happened. I think she's a strong girl for pinning up with it all that time, to be honest. But I kind of wish that she didn't mention it right after a loss, because again, it's that pity game. I think people are gonna start to be like, oh, she's just trying to get pity. Like, no, that's really
emotions are high, brother. Emotions are high after a game like that,
Yeah.
man. You at that table being a young lady, you know, that's just what's gonna happen. But yeah, definitely double standard, man. You know, but do y'all feel like that she do y'all feel like she played differently this year? Do you feel like she was, because she said things was different after she won the national championship? Do y'all feel like she performed differently? No,
I don't think so.
So what do you think now? You think it's cap?
Yeah, I'm waiting for not to say so.
I don't know if y'all want my take on it because it's completely different from y'all's.
This is first and foremost. We keep it real, give you the spiel, brother. So we gotta hear that spiel. Man.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't. So for me, right? Like, I can't wait to see how y'all respond to this.
Trade lightly, bro. Trade lightly now. This is, we don't want to get the podcast canceled. We just got started.
Look, man, on the basketball court, I'll just say this. I think she's great on the basketball court.
Yeah.
I love that she plays with passion, and that she takes the game serious. But I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. She brought a lot. She brought a lot of this on herself. Okay, and the reason I say that is because of how she portrayed herself. Okay. Now, to your point, Jerome, you said that Caitlin was doing the same thing, which she was. But when you break it down, really, was Caitlin actually doing it to an opponent, or was Caitlin doing this to a crowd? Okay, you go back to that national championship game. Caitlin's chilling. Caitlin's running to the sideline. Okay, Angel is running her down, going like this in her face. You know what I'm saying? And
it's wrong finger, brother. By the way.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
In the next possession and goes like this, and so it's like, for me, I don't like Jerome said, I don't feel the pity party for her. I don't, because you did it to yourself, not the death threats. No, look, bro, it should have never got to that stage. I don't agree with that, okay, at all. I'm not condoning that, but now, like Jerome said, now all of a sudden you want to play victim when you were supposed to be this big bad wolf, and we not scared of you. We ready for South Carolina. Yo, bro, stand 10 toes down. Be about your business. Stand on business. You know what I'm saying? And like Jerome said, it's not a good look. You do that after the game is over when you lost. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I feel like with her, and I hate to say this is going to be a little controversial. She portrays, I hate to say this, y'all, because it's usually not the stance I take. She portrays the prototypical, not all, not 100%, not all black women, but she portrays the prototypical black women, right?
Well, this is our last episode, guys. Hold
on.
I'm joking.
Look, hold on, and I'm gonna let you go. Self-centered, right? Bougie, and to herself, thinks she's all that, right? And then as soon as the world comes and it hits adversity, right? And it's not going your way, you want to play victim. Come on, bro. Tell me I'm lying.
That's a valid point. That's the honest truth. That's the honest truth.
I want to add on to, and I'm going to add on what you're saying, because I'm not disagreeing with you at all. And I don't think our stance are actually different. The only thing that is different in my eyes is that she was receiving death threats. And I know that for sure, because Twitter was acting crazy. So that's the part that I feel bad about, because nobody deserves that. I don't care who you are. If it was the same thing. If Caitlin was getting death threats, I would do the same thing, because at the end of the day, it's a basketball game and it's sports. It's everybody's. It's just how I come from a football background. I came from old school football background. I don't know what this new school football stuff is, but I came from when mofos trying to knock your head off, you know. So, and in the world of sports, how sports is, I understand going back and forth, this and that, as long as it don't go off the field. You know what I mean? So, and it went off the court in a sense. It went off the court. And that's when the death threats and stuff like that came in. So that's the part I was kind of like, feeling bad for her, and I kind of felt, and again, I wish he didn't do it as a pity thing at the end, because all that does is just make it worse. Right, in my opinion, all that did was just make it worse. So I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying. I just disagree with the stance of I do feel pity for her because of the pity. It went too far with the death threats and stuff like that.
I agree. I you bring up a good point, Jerome. I 200% agree. It went too far with the death threats, but to say you were sexualized, like, come on, bro, you profited off that too. Come on, we got to be real, right? You got NIL deals coming in. You were going and getting new Mercedes. You were posing in the Sports Illustrated, and then now all of a sudden you were sexualized. Come on, fam. That's all of that. That's the part I don't feel pity for. Now the death threats, of course, nobody deserves that, but the other stuff, come on, bro. Yeah. Well, what's the stance, Baker, before we move on?
For the sexualized thing, man, because they were on the Slam cover, right? And you know what I'm saying, usually in the men's world last year, Aaliyah Boston is on that cover, but you know what I'm saying, sex sells, but it's all a part of the game, you know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying, they're not gonna put Aaliyah Boston just look, you know what I'm saying, like the others.
Now Sports Illustrated, fam. You know, they covered swimsuit one.
Yeah. It was on swimsuit too. There were flaws.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Africa goes with that all the time.
Right. But yeah. To your point about the black woman thing, I get what you're saying, and I do agree with that. However, I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I feel what you're saying. Though. That's a valid point.
It's not that I don't like the sisters, bro. I love the sisters.
No, that's true.
Sisters, I gotta just keep it 100 though. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. That's how I feel like she portrayed herself. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Just be authentic. If that's who you is, that's fine. Be you. But don't come back later and try to be like, oh well, I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm this, I'm that now, and you know, I'm gonna play victim. Come on, bro. You know, stand on.
No, Naj, ask me a question with that just real quick, and I'm gonna end it on that. Now, do you feel like if you would have said this mid-season or even in the beginning of the season, you would have felt the same way about it instead of after the loss, or even right after the championship game or something like that?
I probably would have felt the same. I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like you kind of did it to yourself. Like you put your you in one token, she has helped advance the women's college basketball game. Just bringing the hype. I don't disagree, right? And I'm not saying you can't celebrate. I'm not saying you can't talk your smack. All I'm saying is the blatantness of your actions, your blatantness of doing it in somebody's face. You could have did that, man. She could have. Man, Burrow did it. Like Burrow went just like this to the sideline of Ed Ogeron. Did he do it in Trevor Lawrence's face? No. Right. That's my thing with it, bro. If you're going to do that and celebrate, talk your ish, you know what I'm saying? Do it to the crowd. Oh, yeah, I'm him. What's wrong with – there's nothing wrong with that. That brings excitement. My thing is, though, you run it up into her face. That's the part I didn't like. You know what I'm saying? And then now all of a sudden it's, oh, well, I've had to deal with this for a year now. Like you said, Jerome, why did it come up before? That's all I'm saying.
That's the part I think, like, triggered a lot of people, to be honest. That's why I asked that question. Okay. We'll move on.
No, that's for sure. It's a great conversation, I'm sure. I definitely enjoyed it. I feel like we should have more stuff like that on here. Now I see where y'all at, man. Nah, for sure. But we'll move on to the Alabama. They won narrowly over North Carolina, upsetting the 1 seed. Jerome, we'll start with you, brother. You're a Tar Heel fan. I'm sure you watched this game intensely.
Yeah, listen. That game sucked because we lost, but it was a good game, and I'm always for a good game. When Michigan lost, and I'm always going to bring it back to football, but when Michigan lost to TCU that 1 year, I thought I enjoyed that game. I thought it was such a great game. It was fun. You know, the Michigan had a chance to come back. We just ran out of time, and that's just how I feel about the Tar Heel game. It ran out of time. You know, I wish. What's the starter name? Can you scroll down? I forgot his name.
Sorry,
their star player.
To my Bama.
Baycock.
UNC.
Oh, RJ.
Yeah, RJ. Yeah, I wish he had a better game. He didn't have his best game that game.
4 for 20 for sure.
0 for 9 on 3-pointers, which is crazy for him. But yeah, he didn't have his best game, and I just, when your star guy don't have the best game, the rest of the team got to step up. And again, it wasn't a bad game, but your star player had a bad game. Everybody else got to step up. I thought altogether it was just a good game. UNC started falling apart in the second half. I think that was the real big part of it, that they couldn't get it together at the end, and Alabama came back and beat them. So I never hit a good game, man. It was a good game. Duke lost, so I'm still happy.
For sure, man. What I'm saying, I didn't expect y'all to lose on the glass or points in the paint, man. Well, excuse me, y'all did. Y'all were +3 on rebounds. Points in the paint, I was down 4, but it was a solid game. Like you said, y'all underachieved your lead guard.
What it is?
Sorry,
I got to ask him.
Could y'all hear that?
No, you good.
Good. Yeah, y'all lead guard kind of let y'all down. 4 for 19, 4 for 20.
Something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I like QB. But definitely, I didn't watch this game. Did you watch the game, Nash?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But nonetheless, brother, y'all are going home. Moving on.
Hey, it seems like all our favorite teams are home right now. So
I think my boys were not the saddest.
Sure. What's your team?
I'm a Wildcat fan, brother.
I don't have a
I know you. I know you. I know you, Kentucky guy. I know
that. I think the biggest take. So before we get into this, actually, we'll do that. We'll do that after. So NC State, they moved on. They will be Professor Purdue, man. I'll start with you now. How do you feel about the Wolfpack prevailing and moving on to face Purdue?
Yeah, I just think they got hot at the right time, man. A lot of people were saying there was reports that they weren't buying in, but everybody bought in, man, and they playing through their best player, which is DJ Burns, and they started an NCAA tournament. Them hitting that full court shot, man, being able to win and tie up the game, actually send it to overtime, and a big win. I think it was against Virginia potentially, and that changed their season, man. And now they're making a run, and now. They got some guys, man, that can shoot it from deep, and then they got a guy that's a beast on the block, man. It's just old-fashioned basketball, man. That's really what it is. You don't see that anymore. Get them the ball and let them go to work. You don't get on the block and go use your body and go use a drop step and float it over somebody. You don't see that anymore. The game has become shooting, and that's technically a bad shot according to analytics and stuff like that. But I like his game. It's smooth. Obviously, he's been in college basketball for a while, but just love his story. And for Duke, you got to be able to adjust, man. Like if he's killing you, he's killing Filipowski, he's killing Ryan, bro. It's the same thing we talked about with Monkey. You got to throw different looks at his way. Like you got to throw different. You got to blitz him. You got to throw different zones. Like you got to make him get different looks. If not, it's going to be easy money. So I think that's it. But they're going to be very, very dangerous. But I think they match with Purdue, man. I think Zach Edey's going to be a problem on the glass, rebounding. And I think they've met their match, but a phenomenal run for them.
Sure. Did you what Burrs? Did y'all hear that he has some NFL interest?
Yes, he does. Yep. He's saying though he would rather go and try to play basketball, even if that's overseas first. But he's not closed-minded. That's the per quote.
That's tough. You know what I'm saying? They're definitely raving after him. I believe what is it? Pro days? Is it pro days or after the Final Four?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, so the Bucks got time. Obviously being 6'9" with that type of footwork. I know Shannon was talking about him that night. He's got some connections. Hey, brother, you want to holler at me? I can get you down there with somebody 4 weeks that get you right. Hop on the P squad. They did the same thing with Antonio Gates. They got pinned out for him, but if he wants to chase the basketball thing, man, more power to him. I hope it all works out for you, but they got a spot for you on the gridiron, my friend. And moving on to the next segment of 3, man, we're wrapping up, folks. Appreciate y'all tuning in, sticking with us through this whirlwind of a show. We talked about does Bama have a chance to beat UConn? Do we already talk about that? Does Bama have a chance to beat UConn? My personal opinion, I don't think they have a chance. I do think it will be closer than most people what most people think. They go through the gauntlet of the SEC, which is very challenging this year. They made it to this point. I don't think they're going to get blown out. I think at worst they get beat by 10, 15 points. That's very respectable in the game of basketball. But you know what I'm saying, what you think? What y'all think?
I'm about on that same level. UConn's talented. I think what's going to be the answer for Klington? That's kind of the answer for them. He's being projected as high as the #1 overall pick right now, along with like Alex Farr from France. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of where he lands. But he's just a problem. And it don't take much to get him going. He can get going on the defensive side of the ball, blocking shots. And then you got a guy like Tristan Newton can slow down the pace or pick up the pace and do his thing. And you got a cool, calm, collected guard, Stephon Castle, that can stretch the defense and also get other guys going. It's going to be tough, man. I agree with you. About 10 or 15.
Is Flanagan the real deal to you, bro? Is he top overall in the draft?
I think he's in that kind. And I think and I kind of hope Purdue handles business against NC State. I think he's going to get a chance to prove that against Zach Edey.
Edey's predicted to go like second round, first round,
late first round.
Yeah, late first round,
maybe early second. Yep.
Let me ask you this, brother: Is remind me of his name again? The guard from Newton,
Tristan Newton. Stephon Castle.
Stephon Castle. Is Stephon Castle the best point guard in college basketball or in the tournament? Is he the best point guard?
Left probably. In college basketball right now, I'm not going to say yet because I don't even think he's tapped into his full potential yet. But I think the best guard remaining, because you can't speed him up. Like I talked to Coda Settle, he said he's a pro's pro. I mean, and he's been like that ever since he's been in high school. I just think he has a very polished, very good game, and he's just one of those guys. But I think his potential, he could be even better. It just depends if he wants to go to the draft early or if he wants to develop a little bit more in college.
We're moving on. Picks. Who'd you pick to win in women's and men's? All three of us. And I'll start with. Go ahead.
I'll say women. I'm gonna go South Carolina. Men's. I'm gonna go UConn.
For you, Jerome.
UConn, Iowa.
UConn, Iowa. That's a bold prediction. I will say, I'll agree. I think this is UConn's turn to lose, and I think South Carolina for sure. Moving on to this weekend, I believe Naj will be in attendance. It's like a 70% chance. Tip-Off Classic. This will be your second time around the Tip-Off Classic, my friend. What are you most looking forward to, are there any players that you are looking forward to see?
Yeah, I kind of want to be able to see Tyler's a little bit more. I want to see some of the players on that circuit. I want to see some of these top-end players. I know they're going to be there. I know probably not all because I know Chipotle Nationals are about to kick off right after the Under Armour game. So not every top talent's probably going to be there. But I just want to see some high-level basketball, man, to be able to see some of these kids play and play at a high level and just be able to go watch them. I think that's what I'm most looking forward to. It's a great event.
Yeah. Same thing. Definitely Tyler's. I'm not sure. I should ask. Do you think Micah? I don't think we're gonna see Micah this.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah. Jalen Wingfield, I'm sure 85 is going to be in the building after his dominant performance at this past weekend Rise tournament. He was one of the top performers, 6'7", been able to do it all. Can finish through you, over you, being at 6'7". His athleticism, I seen some athletic praise by your brother, man. So keep doing your thing. So definitely those two. Man, Coach. Do you remember the name of the guard I tagged you in earlier? The Coach Bonafide.
Yeah, that's going to be. Hold on. That's Sugar Eden.
Say it again.
Sugar Eden.
Sugar Eden. He plays for the Atlanta Celtics.
Oh.
So that would be interesting to see how he performs, man. He's from South Carolina, man. I've been getting a lot of traction from South Carolina. People hitting me up like with me and Jerome. We saw he's got in his bio the top 2027 wide receiver out of South Carolina and that. So definitely gonna put my journalism hat on and get my pen out and see what I can report on. So tip off classic this weekend. Did you send your email, brother? Are you paying at the door?
Where do you go to? Who do you got to email? Because I went to the site and don't have nothing.
So basically, you go to the site, go to contact us. You're gonna see the email address. You contact the email address, and they should hit you back. I hit them last night. I checked my email address when I got home. I didn't get anything back. So we'll see. But we should be good. We should be good.
Are you going? Because it sounds like you're not made up if you're totally going or not.
I should be there. I should be there, brother. You know what I'm saying? We should be there. I'll definitely let you know in advance, but definitely fill out the email for sure. Because you know what I'm saying, $25. We throw that thing in the tank. But well, you be Jerome. Are you going to be in the vicinity of Swanee Sports Complex, or are you taking this weekend off to edit?
I'm taking this weekend off. I am so behind. I'm so behind on stuff, man.
Nah, for sure.
So this is definitely going to be. I had events, and you know, I had a lot of stuff going on. I do want to share this real quick though, because I just happened to go across Bronny, and obviously he just decommitted. But I mean, decommitted. But look what he posted.
Who are the Mountaineers?
Mountaineers are the West Virginia. So
Duke,
Duke on here, Ohio State. You know, West Virginia.
Yeah.
And then USC. I think that's the last one. Yeah. So that's funny actually. but yeah, man. You guys didn't hear about that. That's the biggest news that got on before we got on. And I just happened to run across Twitter, and he's posting himself in other jerseys right now. So he's playing the field right now. I like it.
Who?
Bronny.
Bronny James.
Yeah, I already seen that.
Yeah. Y'all got any quick predictions on where you're thinking I go?
That's too early. I'm gonna just say Ohio State because you know what I'm saying. He's got some roots there, but I don't think he go to Ohio State for.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I have to go do some more research to be honest with you. I can't even give you a prediction. Not sure.
Got you. I think USC. I'm thinking USC.
UNC?
USC.
You think he's gonna go back home?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
yo.
Yeah.
Word. Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, that'll conclude the 3-man weave. Appreciate y'all tuning into the basketball segment. But we got some wisdom for y'all. Don't go nowhere. What you got for us, brother Jerome? Deacon Jerome.
Deacon Jerome. Wow. All right. Let's see. I didn't prepare this week, so I'm just gonna go off the cusp. Just making those great connections, man. Being able to have those great connections, and I think this week was a big testament to knowing people and having access that I wasn't even like preparing to have. I never go into something with an agenda. But Rock King's a big source for me. I can ask him anytime or something, and he'll make sure that whatever I need is taken care of. He's a great guy. So being able to have those type of connections, the connections that we have with Duke now, very special. You know what I mean? He's talking about taking us out to go eat, and we can all chat and talk. You know what I mean? I think that's cool, bro. Like, have those connections. So, keeping those connections, having those connections, and not every connection is going to be a great connection, but not every interaction is going to be a great interaction. But at the end of the day, I think you should be yourself, stay the course. Meet the people that you can. Don't try to just meet them just to have or want something out of them, and don't expect anything out of them. You know what I mean? Hey, if things don't happen, whatever, keep it pushing. But also, keep it professional and, have keep those relationships anytime because you never know. So I will say that, relationships is huge, keeping connections and having great connections on your side, so when you do have the connections, when the other ones don't go through, you still have great people behind you. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, for sure. I'll say I'll piggyback off what you said. Part two thing, relationships for sure, man. Definitely knowing you, Jerome, man. You definitely. I talk after the Friday Night Lights, man. That was powerful. Yeah. Rocky, that was definitely powerful. Man. So definitely relationships are worth more than gold. And piggyback off this, kind of like what me and Naj was talking about, man. About just emotional intelligence, man. Seeing you read that, or you telling me, I tapped into it as I was in the sauna today, getting my mind right before this. So emotional intelligence, definitely tap into that because you got to know, man. In this life, we can definitely get swayed. We can get in our moods, and you're like, man, why am I in this mood? I want to snap back in. But at times you feel like you can't, but don't put too much into that, man. Moods can be deceiving, good and bad. So just remain even keel and always work on yourself. So I'll pass it to you, Naj.
I'll be quick. Shout out to Stickman, 5 Principles. Pops, you know who that is. Got me reading this book. But life is all about not what happens to you, but how you respond to it. And not everything's gonna be peaches and roses, but how you come back from it, how you choose to go about it, and how you choose to kind of respond is gonna be key in this life because not every day is gonna be a great day. So learn that from Stickman. And appreciate you, Dad, for giving me the book and giving me the knowledge and the tools. Leave it at that.
I'm gonna have to borrow that.
We love to hear it. We love to hear it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude First and Foremost podcast today. And as you already know, ladies and gentlemen, First and Foremost podcast where we don't just give you the spiel.
We keep it real.
Let's do it.
For sure, man. Same time next week. Same time next week, ladies and gentlemen. Same bad time, same bad station. You locked in with us, you locked in for life. You know it. Peace and blessings.
Good. Hey.
Mm-hmm.